Playing with fire, everything turned to dust. When we aimed to fly higher, we got lost and dragged each other down. We kept running from the shadows in the night.
Alrighty, welcome everybody to week 1 of the Camelot Smite League's playoffs. We have our first quarterfinal match here between Vibe Tribe and Bodega Hive. My name is Alanu, along with Canade2212 with the Wolfie Pup on Spectate. How you doing, Canade?
Not too bad, man. Just getting ready to head into the set, seeing the bands flying through right now. Yeah, just ready to get into us.
Absolutely. This is our number 2 seed versus our number 8 seed this season, with Vibe Tribe being your 2 seed and Bodega being your 8 seed. Getting into picks and bans, see Habwa, Thor, Marty, Yamoja, and Hercules all taken off the board. Nothing too surprising there, in my opinion.
Yeah, all of these gods are right now just really dominant in their like respective lanes or do insane damage output, like with Hebo and Marty. So I mean, yeah, these make sense.
Absolutely. Notably here, some things being left up. We see the Afro being let up, which has been a little bit controversial on whether she's still good or not. In my opinion, she's still good. She's not a must ban anymore. But if teams are comfortable playing it, I still think that character is very, very good.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Go ahead.
So first pick Terra. Terra is probably maybe the second best support right now, right behind. I'd say personally behind Afro. She just brings so much sustain to the fight. She has a lot of CC, a lot of lockdown, and basically makes everybody a tank with her ult. So like high priority makes sense.
Absolutely. Especially I think outside of like our upper divisions, really the only super good Terra counter is that Nox, and a lot of people just don't play Nox. It's really kind of that niche support that it takes a lot of reps on that character, I think, to play it really well in support. Oh, or in mid, though we really don't see it in mid anymore, as we shouldn't, in my opinion. But I do like Terra. I think she's safe. She is sustained. She gets prots over 3. The ult's still really good. Just never gonna complain getting a Terra.
And this pick right here also doesn't like give you too much about your draft. About the draft of the what is it? Vibe Tribe. Sorry. Yeah, it doesn't tell you too much about the pick from Vibe Tribe. Terra's just super contested right now anyway. So if they didn't grab her, I assume she would have been picked up by Bodega Hive.
Yeah, Terra's just she fits into every comp. There's nothing really not too much of a stopper. It's interesting to see Sasano prioritized so highly here. Do you see the Rama alongside with it? Rama, a little bit less surprising. I think there's there's 3 or 4 hunters that are all very good. That's just kind of comfort which one you prefer. Do you see a little bit of the preference towards the Cernanos sometimes, but Rama going to be safe, going to have a good late game, has fairly good pressure. Yeah, Rama's been around forever. He's gonna do the Rama things.
Yeah, it does Rama things. It just kind of exists, you know. You get the snipes in the air, great for steals, great for securing kills. And being paired with Susano, it's just such an insane hyper carry god, especially as the game gets later and he gets the build online, the transcendence and whatnot. He's just gonna be walking around one shotting people, and it's really hard to deal with it.
Absolutely. Does Terra does have a pretty good matchup into it, both the ultimate and just Terra 2, if you're able to land it on the Susana, which isn't normally too hard. You just kind of drop it on top of your carry and say, hey, do you want to get stunned? I don't think you want to get stunned. But
They
the
will
kid
all
are coming out and
obey
Tachanka
their
hovered
goddess.
and then
She's
And
just
locked in.
stunning.
Itchy, we've been thankful to have Itchy over in Jesters a couple times. We didn't have him in Camelot this year. But I expect this to go towards Itchy Eggplant in that soul, and he loves this pick. It does a ton of damage, late game built full damage in that soul, and it just wins most of its lanes too. So expecting to see that go solo, but it can definitely go mid as well.
yeah, she brings a lot of damage. She basically never has to back because of her passive. So she can just sit in lane and farm unless she gets super low. Then she has to back. But yeah, it's a lot of lane pressure. The only thing about Chang'e that makes her kind of sketchy, especially early, is that her range is so short that she kind of has to get up there if she wants to fight people. So her brawling's good, but it makes her really susceptible to like a dive.
Oh, for sure. You can gank Chang'e. That is
Yeah, she's
never the issue.
especially with an Odin. Oh,
May the
Yeah,
gods
the
of
Odin
Valkyrie
response makes a
surround
lot of
you!
sense. It's really good for lane, in my opinion. If you're picking that, you're kind of saying we're gonna sit on you in lane. 'Cause late game, she doesn't care about it a whole lot. She's just gonna be blinking and ulting your backline, and once that happens, like sure, you can cage the Chang'e. She's done her job. When she ults the backline, like whatever happens after that is kind of whatever. But can definitely be a lane to sit on the Chang'e. Gonna have to be careful with that immunity. The Sasano pull, if she doesn't time it right, is just horrible for Chang'e to deal with. Um, Especially considering, I mean, Chang'e could just go blink first relic. It's something I like doing in that lane. You're trying to go blink beads most of the time anyways, so if you have something like an Odin, it does get you out of the cage. If he telegraphs that the cage is coming, it gets you out.
wait, the two get into the cage?
The blink, not the two.
Oh, the blank. Okay, I was wait, hold on.
Yeah, you have to
Um,
obviously not be in combat, but if they telegraph the cage a little bit, you can just
yeah,
blink yourself out of there.
that makes sense. Yeah. We see more bans coming through. We see the Kali, Naja, Merlin, and Giannis getting banned. Giannis is an interesting one. I don't that he's
I will leave standing no
he's not very great
barrier
at dealing
to
with
our
tanks.
success.
Oh,
So I mean, it's an interesting ban unless it's just a comfort pick. Oh,
yeah, a
please.
little surprised to see it banned with the Odin in play too. Normally, you want those big AOE bursts mages, which Giannis doesn't really do that, but they do take it away. See Ganesh locked in on the other side. Touch surprised we didn't see Ganesh banned in the bottom half here. Obviously, it's really good into Terra. Silences are not Terra's friend. Do you see an Opwash and a Yulong hover? Imagine that the Yulong's probably real, the Opwash is probably not. Unless
Okay, they're good.
someone's
Okay. Also, it's Chang'e mid.
even a tier, would have to be a touch troll here because they wouldn't have a jungler really if their chalk was to get locked in. I do imagine that they're
it could-
cycling through their jungle or trying to think of a jungler here. Imagine
No,
Yulong's going mid.
Hear me out here. Right? Hear me out. Chang'e jungle. Okay, they locked below. Never mind.
They're
Dragons of the rivers,
You're a genius.
obey my call.
It could
No,
be
no,
below the jungle.
it could be Bologna jungle. Bologna's a weird god right now. I don't think she's particularly good. She has very good like dive, obviously with the with her ult, but I don't know. It's an interesting pick.
Yeah, I think the only reason to play Bologna right now is if they're running double or triple auto attackers. They have one, and they're probably not picking another one. Considering that all they need is their mid laner, do see the Agni Hubbard makes a lot of sense. Don't love the Bologna. I agree with you that I don't think she's in a great spot, even
Time
with some of
to
the items in theory
burn.
working towards her. I really just think she struggles right now a little bit. Is looking like it's gonna
It's
be
gonna be Chang'e jungle, and you know what?
Chang'e
This
jungle. Yeah,
this is a pick for Simon. Simon loves Chang'e.
I like this more than the other way around. If you're going to pick a Bologna, I think she does need to sit in that solo lane. Probably just concerned about the Odin Susano. Concerned that they are going to get camped a little bit over there if it did go into the solo lane with a Chang'e. Instead, put the Bologna over there. She will be totally safe. Should actually just win pressure in that lane pretty hard against an Odin. And then Chang'e Jungle, I mean, it does what you want your assassin to do late game. It blinks and it one-shots you.
It
Which,
does. That is.
uh, so looking at the comps that we got here, who are you favoring going into this game on?
Um, honestly, I think I might have to give it to Bodega. I think their comp actually has like an identity. And it's more of like a traditional, comp. You know, the ADC. You have an assassin jungle. It's not gonna take as long for Susano to get online compared to a Chang'e. Uh, and then, you late game, you have the Agni, you got the bombs to pair with the Odin cage. You just cage them when you drop 3 bombs, they should just die. Uh, so I mean, yeah, Bodega has a really cohesive kind of comp. It looks like as far as Vibe Tribe goes, their entire plan is basically Bologna ulting and Simon getting a big ult as well. That's their entire game plan. It looks like.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a less cohesive draft. I definitely agree with you. I mean, Yu Huang traditionally wants to sit in your backline. It's just very hard to kill when you've also got an Terra and an Ishtar. So I mean, there is definitely a world where if Itchy's able to create a lot of space, which Itchy's been creating space all season, he loves to get in there. He's going to be just ulting in and having no regard for his life. So if Itchy and Simon are able to get in there and create some space, the 3v3, 3v2 with the Huang, Ishtar, and Terra versus the dive should be pretty good on the backline. But I really like the Agni pick coming out of Bodega here. I think Agni is super underrated right now, probably in the top 3 mages that you can be playing still. Character
Yeah,
just does so much damage. It's CC from your mid laner, which is just hard to come by right now. And I think it's a realistic world where they just look to poke this Terra until she can't fight because she's going to be essentially the only frontliner. I expect Bologna to just be harassing backline the whole game.
yeah. The Agni brings a lot of like long range, consistent, easy to apply CC. Stuns are one of the best CCs in the game. Agni can get a giant stun. So yeah, this Agni might be pretty hard to deal with, especially as a Chang'e. I don't really see a world where you're able to just blink on him for free, basically. Uh, you're definitely gonna be taking a lot of poke, trying to get in on him, trying to just lock him down. Because as of right now, you don't really have a whole lot of lockdown. So this Agni is gonna have to be dealt with early, just to make sure he doesn't get out of control. Especially paired with the Susano as the game gets later. Susano, very hard scaling god, does a lot of damage, can basically one shot anybody or any of the squishies on the side of Vibe Tribe.
Yeah, I think the Ishtar ult is probably gonna have to do a lot of work here for Zuzu. It's one of their only it honestly might be their best initiation. Like if he's able to hit a backliner and pull beads, they should just win the fight off that. So something to keep in mind for the backline of Bodega is if Ishtar ult is the thing that pulls your beads, you're probably losing that fight. And then Chang'e, Bologna just have free reign in the backline if those beads are down. Uh, Potentially looking at carries of Vibe Tribe to end up with Phantom Shells here this game. We'll have to see where they choose to go with things. Agni has a lot of sustained damage, but no big burst that you really feel like you have to Aegis. I think it is one of the characters you can kind of get away with going Shell against. Susano, honestly, might be harder to not have the Aegis against. But if I'm the backline of Vibe Tribe, one or two of us is getting that Phantom Shell into the Odin.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with that. The Agni, unless Agni's like kit dumping all 3 bombs on top of your head, there's not a whole lot of reason to pop the Aegis, unless, as you said, it's against Susano. That's the only thing that might make it a bit sketchy. But Susano kind of has to kit dump everything to kill somebody, so it's an interesting call on which one you go. I assume they're gonna go the Beats Aegis because it's traditional picks. And Aegis does have its uses even against Agni. Even even to be able to like negate the damage of 1 bomb is it's a lot of damage you're mitigating or basically just making it irrelevant. But yeah, I guess I'll have to see how this goes.
I think if I had to choose here, I would like to see Suzu get the Phantom, and Yu Huang I think is probably okay without it. Just you can Ishtar backflip out of Odin Cage. It is very risky, obviously. If you miss that dash, you are just dead. You are dashing into the enemy team the majority of the time. Well, obviously, I'm sure it's going to happen. I'm sure Ishtar will have to, try and make that happen at some point in this game. And, we'll see how it goes. But personally, the Phantom Shell just seems like a little bit of a safer option. But taking a look at starters coming out, do you see Eye of the Jungle on the Chang'e, which is not what I would have guessed Chang'e Jungle wants to build. I was expected to see that almost. I play a lot of Chang'e. I don't play a lot of Jungle. Maybe he's onto something.
I think it's fine. Of the two noteworthy jungle starters as of right now, being Boombas and I definitely gives you a lot more stats and has a better late game in my opinion. So I think it's a better option to go.
I don't. Do you really care about the attack speed on Eye of the Jungle?
No, the attack speed doesn't matter. The attack speed doesn't matter. It's all about the protections that you get from it.
Yeah, I suppose the physical protections are pretty nice in the late game, though. I think if Susano and Jungle both have relics, I think Susano just wins that all the time late game. If Susano doesn't have beads, then maybe you're cooking something. But don't think Chang'e's winning that 1v1 too much in the late game, or really trying to take it in the late game. Don't think she's much better at just trying to get onto the back line than trying to win that 1v1. Honestly, I think it's more likely we see the Bologna go off and make that split if we do get into that 4v1 type siege idea. Wouldn't be shocked to see the Bologna go actually win that 1v1 versus Susano.
I think Bologna has a better chance of winning that 1v1, but yeah, I like you said, I don't really like that matchup particularly for Simon on the Chang'e.
No, it's gotta feel not
at least not early. As the game gets later, Chang'e will scale. She has very short cooldowns, so she'll be able to brawl a lot better. But before 20 minutes, she's not gonna be able to do much at all to him.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it to be too on her side there. Susano did go beads, as did the Chang'e. There was a gank coming out to Bologna, but Ichi is rather tanky right now. Going to be A-okay. Actually turns around some of the damage onto Underclass, saying, please leave my lane, sir. I don't enjoy this. But, coming over before that blue, maybe trying to get some hope to look for that blue invade. Instead, just gonna go back to his back camps, not wanting to keep the pressure up onto that Bologna.
Yeah, as we see the buff timers come up and whatnot, I expect there's gonna be some invades like we're looking at right now. It looks like Simon's gonna be looking over to go to that blue, but they will put it behind tower and just safely get it.
Yeah, a little bit too late here on the side of Vibe Tribe. As I say, that does get confirmed by the Odin. Yeah, with being able to drag those buffs, usually you kind of have to be early to stop the enemy team from dragging it back in. This Rama is super low over in the dual lane. Is going to be okay. I think that just shows you the power of Ishtar, that even with a Terra next to her, is going to win pressure in that lane. This purple invade could get risky. Looks like this Underclass doesn't know what's happening. It feels like that could have been a pretty straightforward first blood for the Susano, who chooses to do his speed buff instead. Rama messes up the dash a little bit. Does look like he's gonna Be okay here. If Underclass can get here, could turn this around. Just trying to buy time in the wave.
And
Blink
it-
in
ooh,
for
what a-
this Asano. The shell comes
Oh,
out, but
first
first
blood.
blood is good for Underclass. Does eventually get there. Good job by the Rama, just buying time for his jungler to make that rotation. Does pay off with his first blood going to Bodega.
Oh.
Narrow we have the solo for Gary.
So I really like that invade from Vibe Tribe. I think the invade itself was absolutely worth it. But they stuck around so long trying to confirm the kill or trying to get that kill on Simon. Simon. Sure, yeah. Yeah, they stuck around so long trying to get that.
I couldn't tell you either.
Yeah, they stuck around too long trying to get that kill. It gave Underclass more than enough time to make a rotation and confirm that kill.
Yeah, good rotation there from Underclass. Did eventually make his way over and pick up that first blood. Do you see the prophetic cloak coming out of Terra versus the Thebes coming out for the Ganesh? Which one do you like here more?
I completely blanked out on the question. I'm not gonna lie. All I heard was Ganesha.
The Thebes versus the prophetic.
Oh, okay. On Ganesha, I absolutely think you go with Thebes on Ganesha. He has a long range ability, yes, but it's so slow and it's so hard to apply it on somebody that Ganesha just has a hard time sticking to it. If that makes sense.
I definitely understand where you're coming
Oh,
from.
Simon
From
got
Freak
bladed.
itself is good. I was questioning the early divine from the Agni, didn't get a chance to talk about it. That anti-heal might have just come in clutch there. The Terra ult was popped, but was not enough to save the life of Simon. Falls down. A lot of ults used on both sides in the mid lane there, but another kill going towards this mid jungle of Bodega. Thanos stacking Transcendence as well, not something you'd expect to see him getting active super early on, but he's so far had a much bigger impact on this game.
Yeah, this is just like what comes with picking a mage in the jungle. Unless you're playing Ao Kuang, and even Ao Kuang has some of the same problems. But yeah, Susano's gonna be able to get active a lot earlier than Simon is on his Chang'e.
Definitely is about a level lead for the jungler right now, though. Taking a look at the gold, despite the 2 kills on Bodega, it's only about a 400 gold lead, so really nothing to speak of at this point. 420, love to see it.
Most of that lead is coming from that first blood bounty that Underclass is able to get.
Definitely, but even then with the 2 kills, it does mean that Vibe Tribe's farming just a touch better. Not being down more than that 400. Terra catches the dash just to be annoying. Absolutely love that. As we get grouped up here, starting to head towards the mid game, everybody really pretty fine. Rama down a level in this lane, but shouldn't matter too much. Does look like they're looking at the purple buff potentially, or just trying to sentry out the vision away from this Ishtar. Decide not to go for that purple invade Underclass, taking his farm on the right side instead. They do rotate the mid laner over though, so gonna be sharing quite a bit of farm if they do stay. Just gonna let the Ishtar get her farm for free there.
Yeah, you just see Itchy running down Rosa on this Odin. It's kind of just what happens. Oh, big Chang'e ult and the kill. Yeah.
That Doom Orbs is online. It might be nerfed. It still does a lot of damage. Good kill from the Chang'e, getting that damage going. Yeah, I think they took 10 or 15 power off.
It was 15. It was at 145 if I remember correctly.
I
Yeah.
believe you are right. The Thanos going active onto the Ishtar here. That is just a clean 100-0 by Underclass. Has always loved this pick.
Does it not have his dash?
I guess not.
Interesting that.
Also didn't ult.
Yeah,
Which Thano does not have beats, so I think the ult would have saved Zuzu's life there, but hangs on to everything, hangs on to the beats, hangs on to the ult, potentially hangs on to the dash. Not sure if it was up.
they probably figured they were dead anyway, just like not gonna use anything. I don't know. It was I guess it was like a pretty weird engagement considering he came up behind them.
Yeah, just got caught off guard there, I think. Yeah, if you take a look at the wards on the map, not a whole lot on that duo side of the map for the side of Vibe Tribe. Does have that one ward up top with a sentry on the bottom side that I believe Fatty Bacon placed. I love getting that ward. It feels so good as an ADC to have that sentry because it makes your jungler's ganks just that much easier. Zuzu not respecting the fact that they don't have the vision there and just gets cleaned up by underclass.
Yeah, it looks like after these past couple kills, everybody's kind of just chilling out for a second, trying to farm. And then there's AG stealing the hard
Gee,
POI.
just brawling because he can't. Was surprised to see him go berserkers first. I've seen a lot of Bellonas and the auto attackers with heals in that lane just go straight towards the vital amplifier. I think it gives you a little bit more pressure in lane. Perhaps just want to respect the damage coming out just a little bit, I suppose is fair, but a little bit surprised we didn't see it first. Looking at the ADC build, which I think is just always a question of what's going to get built after the nerfs, does look like they're sticking with the Devos into crit. I have seen quite a bit of like a Devos, Xe, Kins, Demon Blade, Deathbringer style build, which I still could definitely be going for here. But gonna keep an eye on where those ADC builds end up going, because I think it's pretty up in the air what you can build right now.
When it's a big bees pool. Oh, he doesn't get the kill. Here comes the. Yeah, this should just be a dead Rama here for you, and it is.
A very dead Rama.
Zuzu gets the kill.
Does go to Zuzu as well. Gotta feel great to get that kill falling onto your lane opponent, especially. Good rotation over for Simon just to make sure as well, along with Chaos Kizumbo making his way over. Want to make sure there's no way that Rama was getting out of there. Bodega got picked. Yeah, it was look like they're thinking about a Gold Fury, probably just fighting for that vision instead. Do you see that the Dev Gauntlets and the Demon Blade are already done for Zuzu? If I'm Vibe Tribe, I'm trying to fight on that side of the map, and I'm trying to do Gold Fury. Your ADC is really far ahead.
Yeah, these are big power spikes for Zuzu on the Ishtar. Basically ADC in general. This is exactly where you want to be at this point in the game. Even though they did die twice, they're still have quite a decent lead in terms of gold and XP.
Yeah, it is pretty much a tie game here. About 500 in the favor of Vibe Tribe, picking up a couple kills on the return, and also I think just farming just a little bit more efficiently than Bodega's been able to right now. Look at the XP lead too, 2,000. Nothing too crazy so far, but starting to get into the point where you can start throwing your weight around a little bit. Underclass is just waiting around the corner. I assume he's on a ward based on how Zuzu's playing this. Yeah, it's just gonna give up away. Good patience there for Zuzu. Can't say the same for Terra. Just going to get picked in the jungle there. Only has 8 stacks on that Pathetic right now, whereas there's a full gauntlet of Thebes on the other side. I do think the Pathetic on characters like Terra that don't...
Wow.
Where did Zuzu go?
Zuzu kind of got deleted. And this should just be a free Gold Fury for Bodega. Like a very good farming rotation over to the dual lane side. They got the support and the ADC.
Are gonna go for the Yu Huang here. Does a good job of holding his 3 until they commit. Now that he's poked out, should be a pretty free Gold Fury. But Simon has gotten a chance to make his way over here. Chaos Kuzumbo has also respawned. Chasing out that mid laner might have made this a little bit more congested than they want it to be. Gold Fury is dropped. I think that chasing out there might have just cost them the free Gold Fury. Just, it's only 12 minutes into the game. That Terra's respawn was pretty short. Able to show up and stop this Gold Fury from going down.
Yeah, the instant rotation over to the gold from Chaos did a really good job of locking them off from getting that Gold Fury. They also didn't burn it as fast as I thought they were going to.
Yeah, they were a little preoccupied with chasing out Gary, which I understand. I think you make sure the rest of your team is pulling the Gold Fury while you're chasing out the mid laner. I think that would have gone down pretty much for free if they had decided to do that, but instead all 4 of them kind of rotated over to the mid laner. He got out just fine, and then they ran out of time to build. Itchy rotates over to this.
Oh, they have no idea what's going on either.
Still in base, assuming he's going to be TPing in here shortly, but it's not going to be anywhere near in time. Does TP to the back line.
Oh, great 180.
Wow, it's a good cage, but he's alone. There's no follow-up here.
Yeah, there's no fault. That was a really good play from Gary, just a 180, his Celestial Descent.
Yeah, definitely like to see that. Something that, you know, is sometimes mid laners struggle with. Carries in general. Of that tower that you're trying to get in at your T2 over there, you're not getting there.
If he had committed to that, he probably would have died there. But really good on him to recognize his team was behind him, just pay attention to the map, and just be able to 180 and get away with basically no trouble at all, and gets the Odin Cage out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Good patience there out of Gary. Love to see that. Realizing that his team is going to help him a lot more than the tower is there. Looking for some poke onto the Agni. That is pretty significant poke. Ganesh gonna stop anything further coming out. Gold lead back up to about 500 in the favor of Vibe Tribe after that Gold Fear, but the XP has actually closed down a little bit. So we're essentially in the same game state that we were before that Gold Fear.
Yeah, despite losing to Gold, Bodega's doing a pretty decent job of keeping the game as even as they can. And looks like they're looking for a Pyro right here.
Hera gets her Monolith out. The
snipes!
Good from Seaman. Great snipes. Monolith was smart there to try and stop the knockup, but the damage is just too much. This Terra is just so squishy right now with only 12 stacks on Pathetic. I think they got baited into that a little bit. Now, Simon just not respecting the 4 members of Bodega running at him while he tries to clear a ward is gonna force him out while this Pyro is getting looked at. Gary gets poked out in mid as well by Freak itself. This should just be a free Pyromancer for Bodega.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. Can you contest right now is Itchy? I'm wondering how much
He's looking like he's gonna try to. Doesn't get it. Doesn't commit the ult. Realizes that he is simply dead there if he ults in. So good discipline. Realizing you're level 15. You really don't want to give a kill to anyone on the other team right now. So I respect the attempt, but good discipline from Itchy to not throw away his life there.
Look over just this dual lane. Zuzu is up 2 levels over Semon right now.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be where Vibe Tribe leans going further into this game. Gotta lead on your EDC. That Pyromancer's, or excuse me, that Gold Fury's up in a couple of minutes. You also gotta stop the Agni from doing that. I mean, it is kind of, you know, what you pick Agni for is he just bullies in that mid lane. He is pretty easy to gank while he's doing that though. Does have to stand still for the ultimate. While the dash is a long range dash, it's not, or a quick dash, excuse me. It's not the longest range dash in the game. You can catch the Agni if he's standing on, you know, halfway up the lane trying to bomb the mid laner.
Yeah. The long range dash, instant. Outside of that, you get that out. He's pretty easy to chase down.
Especially if he's using his stun to hit the mid laner, which,
yeah,
you know, Freak himself has often been doing. You do see that player damage from him, 13,000 already. And I don't think Gary's played badly by any means. It's just so much poke from Agni just as a pick right now.
Just Agni doing Agni things.
Agni doing Agni things. You see a do more, but I didn't even realize that on the Yu Huang. Not an item we see all the time anymore. It's definitely still good stats, don't get me wrong. I mean, 130 power is still a lot of power, but haven't seen it rushed quite as often after the nerf. Have seen a little bit more of that, like, Spear of Deso into Duty style build, which is where he goes right after it. So all things considered, probably feeling just fine, but caught my eye as a mid laner.
Hey, look at the build that Terra's going into right now. It looks like there might be a fight breaking out over this Gold Fury.
Yeah, is going to Thebes now, which I think is fine. The game's still even. You're probably going to get the stack within the next, 5 or 6 minutes. This should be okay. It's actually starting to get there on the Pathetic stacks. Is up to 17. It's usually around that 20 stack point where the Pathetic starts being better than Thebes. So almost there, but the Spirit Robe out of Ganesh on the other side, he is just tankier. Itchy wants to party!
That's a lot of damage.
Ups down into the Yuhong ult, into the Chang'e ult. A lot of damage.
That's a lot. Yeah, Gary just gets 2 free kills right there off the initiation from Itchy, and then Itchy cleans up 1 as well. And it should just be a really free Goat Fury. I didn't think that the ult from Itchy was gonna get a whole lot. That it was just doing it just to be annoying, but you know, it worked out for him.
I think it's crazy, but I think he was just doing it for damage. I mean, the beads were popped by everybody off the Chang'e ult. Like, I don't think he burned that many beads there, but it's just a lot of damage that was moved up into that corridor. He just forced out by the Agni, dashes towards the Bologna. It's going to barely get out. Terra might have paid for Itchy's sins. Yuhong dodges out the Odin. Well done there by Gary. Ganesh wants to chase this, doesn't have the Dharmic Pillars back up. Thought he would with that chase there. The snipes almost there for the Rama. Not going to quite sit down Itchy. Would have been a big kill for the Rama. Yeah, Bologna 3 levels ahead. It would have been a lot of gold.
Yeah, despite Itchy doing his best to end under T1, he does get away.
Does get away. Not even close is what Itchy's telling his team.
It wasn't close
sure.
at all.
Tactical baiting of the Rama ult, for sure.
Well, this gold lead is starting to blow up a little bit. We're sitting at just about 3k, I want to say. Yeah, over 3k. Sorry, 3.5k gold lead, and then 5.5k XP lead as well. We see another fight in mid breaking out right now.
Yeah, my tribe is simply deciding to group up, which I love this decision. Itchy is huge on the map right now. Your ADC is up 2.5 levels as well. It is time to fight. Don't let Bodega farm their way back into this game. Itchy's just harassing anybody he can. He doesn't care if it's the support. He is just hitting you because he has that Kin side done. Going to do so much damage. I think this is probably the strongest point that the Bologna is going to be at this game, and Itchy wants to fight. Yeah,
the Vital Amplifier plus to Ken's eyes. Itchy does a lot of damage as long as he's able to stick to his target, and there's gonna be a free tier 1 down at the cost of the runic bomb. So
love that decision from Vibe Tribe there. I think that's honestly the best thing to do with these, semi-early pyromancers. 20 minutes isn't exactly the earliest pyromancer we've ever seen, but just get that runic bomb out of your inventory. Just limits your ward vision so much, especially because it's usually on your support, who's the person you want warding the most of the time. So just get it out of your inventory. Take down the T1 and mid. Take down a T1 really anywhere. But love that quick decision. It's like, all right, we got this bomb. We don't want it in our inventory. Let's go get something with it. Love to see teams do that.
yeah, right now there's just gonna be a small lull in the action. Oh, I say that and we get a blink, and Chang'e coming out with Simon.
Might be able to get onto the Odin. He's trying to get over the wall. Bologna ult is there and is good. That Kin size just does so much damage at this point. Itchy just absolutely slamming Odin, having to go into that Genji's as well to respect the Chang'e damage. No, Itchy might have overstayed his welcome. The stun is good. The Typhoon doesn't get a whole lot. It's just gonna be okay. That's the Sano ult down for free.
Bologna's just so tanky right now. We're gonna see a Fire Giant pull at 22 minutes.
I love this. They have no Susano ult. Big itself used his couple ults there as well. Yep, Bodega has no idea this is happening. Yeah, I love that. It's gonna be a tier 2 on the left side for Seaman. Gonna pick up some farm, at least for his troubles, but he's still 2 levels down despite getting all of that free farm in left lane. Zizu is just menace right now. Has that Venom Deathbringer already, along with the Demon Blade, going to be swinging out of the ADC role.
Yeah, we see our first level 20s coming in on Zuzu and Itchy. Fun fact about Itchy, he currently is he has the most GPM of the season so far. So this dude really knows how to farm, and he farms really well.
That does not surprise me at all. He loves to take his jungler back camp. It's a big thing, which is, you know, sometimes little troll Rama Snipes not going to be in time to get that gold. But if your jungler knows that's your game plan, like, hey, like, we're just gonna get Itchy massive in this lane, and then he's gonna rotate out and just win the game with team fights, I love it.
As you can see, this poke coming out from Freak Out on the Agni's basically doing nothing to him. So like he's very tanky, does a lot of damage. Bologna might have been a good pick here, especially for the type of playstyle that Vibe Tribe likes to go, which is like really fast, really aggressive. So
Hashtag buff mages.
yeah, buff mages, right?
They nerfed 4 of our items, man. It's not.
Oh wow.
It's not fair. Chaos Gizmo does not exist anymore.
He actually got deleted.
Not the tankiest Terra. Has upgraded his relics early, which I love. Would have liked to see him finish off that starter before going into the Lotus Sickle. Lotus Sickle, great for your team. Not so great for you yourself on the Terra. It's only 30 Fizzprots, I believe is the number on it. But that starter item is so good. Ganesha also doesn't have that starter item yet, and is actually going into more magic defense here. I guess that means a heroism is coming and not a compassion. I assume is what that means out of Mr. Bacon.
Oh, this might be the end of Itchy. And oh, what a 4-man Ishtar. It was not enough though.
Big Ishtar ult, not enough. Itchy ults in, immediately gets caged. Did not go for that Phantom Shell. Got the blink instead. Perhaps something that might haunt him a little bit towards this late game. Going to have to be careful ulting in if they are willing to commit that Odin cage to the Ishtar, which at this point, Ishtar, or not Bologna. Good lord, my brain will start working at some point in this cast, I promise.
That was due to his let's call it interesting pathing. He came up behind Bodega.
It was some creative pathing. Yes.
Came up behind 5 of them, got 180 on, and just at that point you can't really do a whole lot. He tried to ult out, but it just the Odin cage locked him down. He was pretty much cleaned up after that.
Yeah. All things considered, everyone is going to be alive before this Firemancer. Firemancer? What? We're having a great day right now. The Fire Giant respawns here in about 45 seconds. Is going to be that Death's Embrace coming out from Itchy, trying to get that life steal going. There is double anti-heal already built on the side of Bodega due to the Terra. So a touch surprised to see the Embrace come out instead of the Temper. Temper probably just would have been more damage here for Itchy, but he's unafraid of the anti-heal.
Yeah, Itchy's trying to stay he's basically trying to stay alive as long as he can while doing as much damage as he can. So I do like the Embrace pickup.
I think perhaps most notably is starter items are done for everybody on the side of Bodega, and Chaos Kizumbo has not picked up that starter item yet. Also, it is the Compassion coming out of Fatty Bacon, which now really confuses me why he's building another magic defense item. Compassion is a lot of magical defense. Little confused there, but maybe he felt like he needed a Pestilence, perhaps? I assume that's what that item is going to be. In which case, yeah, sure, it's anti-heal. It is a Terra and a Chang'e. I suppose Pestilence probably isn't the worst thing you could be building.
We see this Fire Giant spawning. Team's just trying to fight for a vision right now. And it looks like at the moment, Vibe Tribe has control of it. So, I mean, they're pretty well set up right now to pull this if they wanted to.
I am speaking so well today, Minnie, giving me the encouragement here as we play our set of 7 tonight. We'll also be casted, so stay tuned for that, as we have 3 casts lined up for you today. But yeah, this is the level of brain activity you're getting for our set tonight, Minnie. Good luck. Just absolutely no thoughts, head empty, just nothing going on.
Thinking's overrated anyway, don't worry.
Yeah, for sure. Fire Giant has spawned. Primal Fury just being soloed by Itchy. Apparently he can do this.
Oh,
That's
he's
super
actually
cool.
taking no damage.
He's taking no damage. Susano does know yeah, I think this is the correct call from Susano. Don't try and steal that pyro. Go take a team fight. I mean, Itchy thinks they don't know thinks he is doing this alone. Did not see the Susano going to have a big flank here onto the Yu Huang. He's up into that 3, but the Susano is held onto his teleport. Doesn't take it. The
Simon
Typhoon
takes a lot of
comes out,
damage.
does a lot of damage. Freak itself is not going to take care of Simon as well. The Yu Huang barely dodges out that last knife. Suzu picks up 1 in return, trading out Freak itself. That's a 2 for 1, or excuse me, just a 1 for 1 for Bodega, but that's going to favor them here as it buys them time for this Fire Giant. As I say that, Batty Bacon, goodbye, just gets melted by the Kinsai and the crit coming out of Suzu. The chase is still on. Itchy realizes that he might have made a mistake doing that Gold Fairy. Didn't do it, looks like.
Oh my god, the underclass got deleted by that dash.
I'm assuming that he crit off the Ishtar 3, which is just such a dumb feature, by the way. Absolutely hate that that can crit. Nerf ADCs, please. Especially now that Mini's here. Please nerf ADCs. Just for Mini. I know he would like nothing more than to see ADCs nerfed.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fire tempo. It should be pretty free for a Vibe Tribe.
Should be pretty free. Freak itself is alive. Doesn't have relics. Pretty much no relics for anybody on the board.
Yeah, this is a graveyard of relics right now.
Would like to see them go find Freak itself. Doesn't look like they're too concerned. Lana does go looking for him eventually here. Is going to make sure that that Fire Giant falls to Vibe Tribe, and because of all the scrapping that happened before, it's an enhanced Fire Giant.
Yeah, it was a really long fight. Both teams just kind of were waiting for their moment. And Bodega had a really good initiation. That they got a really good pick onto Simon, but it just wasn't enough. Especially with Zuzu right now, just pumping out the crits and all the damage that they're shooting out. So I mean,
Yeah. I think that was a very good engage there from Underclass, realizing that their Bologna's not there. Itchy had probably been the most impactful player on Vibe Tribe so far. So trying to take that fight while he was off soloing a Gold Fairy for some reason. Almost works out, doesn't quite end up how they probably would have drawn it up. Is only a 6k gold lead. There is a EFG on the side of Vibe Tribe. Honestly, I would like to see Bodega defend at least one of these T2s. Looks like they're not going to be the right one. Tap's trying to defend the mid one. If you give up both of these towers now, you're sitting at closer to a 10k gold lead, where the 6.5k is still manageable in my opinion. You let these towers go down, they pick up a Phoenix, and all of a sudden, feels like the game's pretty much just from there. Terra is in though. The Ganesh cage going to come out and at least slow them down. Underclass got a flank. Chooses not to go for it. Not going to capitalize off the low HP from the Terra.
I think right now with the sustain that the Vibe Tribe has, it's gonna be really hard for them to take a clean win under tower. They have to just basically like insta kill like one of their carries of Vibe Tribe if Bodega wants to have a chance at a good defense.
Yeah, a little surprised Underclass didn't pull the trigger there. Looking at it now, he wasn't on a ward. Vibe Tribe did not know the Underclass was there. With the front line of Vibe Tribe being at about half HP, just after that T2, I think that might have been about the best fight they were going to get. Itchy has been caught out in mid. The Odin jump is good, but he doesn't have any damage. It's that full tank Odin build. It's just a Golden Blade, which at this point is not relevant damage. What is relevant damage is that Agni. Good lord, great dueling dragons coming out from Gary as well. Odin into the backline. Chunga trying to fight for their life. The snipes are beautiful from Seaman. It's a 4 for 1 for Bodega.
That's one of the reasons why Agni is so good right now. Just the base defense that he provides. It's similar to Merlin. It's so hard to siege into him. He does so much damage. Yeah, it was just a really great defense on the side of Bodega Hive.
No joke, I believe the Agni did about 8,000 damage in that team fight.
He did so much damage.
Disgusting. Oh, I mean, that must have been a couple 3 or 4 man bombs there coming out of Freaking Self. Just massive damage. They're running it down this left lane. Is there a chance that Bodega tries to end the game here?
I think there could be. The only one up right now, it's close, is Kazembo. And your Terra isn't exactly amazing at defending.
Alright, Bologna does buy them some time, threatens to kill Underclass there, is going to at least slow them down. He did use the ult, so might end up trading his life for it, but if it means the game doesn't end, probably feeling okay, but it does mean that Itchy's going to be dead for this Fire Giant. Terra trying to chase out, but don't think their team is going to be able to get there on time. Now, you've got Itchy Eggplant dead for 50 seconds. If Terra's able to stop them from backing, which it looks like might have been what they were trying to do, could actually make this EFG potentially shreddable here. Not gonna pick it up, just gonna do the Pyromancer. With that said, now Itchy's dead, and you let Bodega reset. It should just be a power play for Bodega on this EFG.
Yeah, Bodega's really done a good job of turning this around right now. Yeah, they basically just 180 this game at the moment. They're still down 5k gold, but everybody's full build, just about outside of Fatty Bacon. But everybody in the lobby is essentially full build, and they're just ready to brawl for this fight. And this EFG might be the last one. Might be the one that determines the game.
That doesn't look like Vibe Tribe is all that interested in stepping up to defend. Pole's been a little bit slow here for Bodega, perhaps trying to bait the fight instead of actually taking this objective. Terra is into the pit. Bodega's was just letting Vibe Tribe exist here. You see Itchy in left lane. I'm a little puzzled as to why Bodega's not pulling this objective with Itchy in left lane right now.
I can understand the hesitation. Itchy does have the upgraded teleport, so he'll be able to get to the fight basically, relatively quickly. So I mean, you have to make sure that you get a pick here if you want to try and pull this. You want to try to commit to this Fire Giant.
Yeah, I think the best way to get a pick here though is just you have to force them to come in. Yeah, cage the Terra, burn that Phantom Shell, then back up and do it again in 60 seconds when your Odin cage is back up.
Yeah, if you're Bodega, if you're Bodega, you just gotta send it here, I think.
Yeah, would have at least liked to see them burn the Phantom Shell there. I think if that's all they do there, step up and burn the Phantom Shell, I think that's totally fine. But as played, I mean, Bologna's just vibing, chasing out these waves. There's no pressure onto Vibe Tribe here, despite the fact that their left bird is down.
Yeah, but trying to get aggressive now into this, and yeah, Itchy just teleported over, and now he's gone off
to the teleport out, which is important.
He might solo him.
Soloing the Rama, the pull back in. Itchy trying to get to that Rama is not going to get there. Big Terra all on the backline. Odin's getting melted by the Ishtar. Phantom Shell is used to try and extend this freaking self all by himself on the side. Somebody's got to keep track of this Agni. He's done 40,000 damage and is just frontlining for Bodega, and nobody seems to care about it. He is so far up by himself there, and just nobody sees him. That's wild.
The engagement from Itchy was super well played. He did a lot of damage, basically forced Semon out. He couldn't fight anymore. But then they just let Freak out, or Freak itself just, whoa, okay, alright, well, goodbye, Underclass.
It just deletes Underclass. The snipes have been so good from this Rama this game. Another kill picked up with the Rama snipes. There is a trade at least.
This is not a fight you want.
Down for Vibe Tribe. I wish just a little bit of a fiesta here in the late game. Neither team able to cleanly win a fight around this EFG. Bodega do realize that they have a 4v3 power play here. And look at how far this Agni is up. Finally, some crits fall out. Good meant from the Ishtar, standing and fighting inside that Odin cage. Is going to fall down. Just stop the fire giant.
Freaking dies the fire giant.
Dies that.
No. No.
Yo, alright, Vibe Tribe can't punish him, but the fire giant can. OP.
This is wild. This game is kind of not going in the direction I was expecting, to be honest. Especially if Fatty Bacon dies here. Oh, that's so bad for Bodega.
And a little bit of some lazy backs coming out. Now the Bologna pulling this fire giant isn't going to take any damage, as we saw earlier. Zuzu is dead, so the burn's not going to be great onto this fire giant. Bodega is rapidly coming in. Fire waves are almost on. Vibe Tribe's Titan as well. Gonna be some fireworks here, regardless of what happens. EFG down to about a quarter. Odin's into the Sanos, and the Terra ult comes out. They are trying to commit to this.
Vibe Tribe gets it.
Tribe does get the fire giant, and now the chase is on. So many ults were used on the side of Bodega. Siemens just swinging, and they are not stopping the backliners from Bodega. Finally, somebody addresses Siemens. Does fall down. Odin should fall down as well. Sasano realizing he cannot help his Odin. But still, you take away the EFG from the mid laner and the jungle. Zuzu had not respawned, so they don't get it. It's just Itchy. It's just the front line that has the EFG inside of Hive Tribe.
Which admittedly isn't the worst ones to have on it, you know. Your frontline being able to stay in, do a lot more damage, and be a lot more, have a lot more sustain from the fire giant would definitely make this push easy if they do decide to push it, which I believe they will. But yeah, it's really unfortunate that Gary did die there as well. He was a lot of your damage.
Yeah, Simon and Itchy have got to pay attention to the back line. It feels like they're committing super hard of trying to kill frontline. I think you really just gotta start blink ulting especially the Agni, but I mean even the Rama is hitting really hard.
Oh, that should be the end of it with Zuzu. Yeah.
Zuzu is just picked for free. It was just a 2v3. It was like Itchy just TP in here to try and salvage this, but might end up falling. Vibe Tribe just a little discombobulated trying to rush it. It's 40 minutes, boys. Your support and your ADC are not safe by themselves.
Yeah, that was a really interesting push to go that far up without anybody there with you. I understand Itchy had teleport and he was able to get over there, but yeah, these engagements coming in from Vibe Tribe are just not very cohesive at the moment.
He's got a group. It's not even engages. They're just not grouping up. I mean, I understand you're playing versus the 8 seed, but if you try and walk up as 2 people to the enemy's team, T2 mark at 40 minutes, they can kill you. It doesn't matter. Like, just come on. Gotta group up here if we're on the side of Vibe Tribe, but Bodega doing a great job of punishing the mistakes from Vibe Tribe. I mean, it's one thing for teams to make mistakes, but if you don't capitalize off it, it doesn't really matter. Terra being the one to clear out left waves. I can't imagine Terra can actually clear those waves. A little confused why they are the one over in the left lane. Left ward is going to be the call from Bodega. Doesn't think that they realized how late Terra is going to be to this, and are gonna let Vibe Tribe try and defend it.
But if you're Bodega, you're just waiting. You have only waves pushing up mid and right, and there goes Itchy again, forcing them back. But yeah,
getting in there.
Yeah, he's getting in there. But yeah, you have only waves pushing up, so you're just playing a waiting game at the moment. There's no real reason for you to push up. You have only fire waves pushing up right now. Okay, well they were pushing up. Never mind. Okay, that was interesting.
That was an Ishtar ult.
That was an Ishtar ult of all time. It was an Ishtar ult of all time. So yeah.
Now Itchy decides that even though his backline does not have ults, he's going in Magazine of Dueling Dragons from Gary to lead underclass. Now the fight is still going. Terra a bit too deep though, just gets melted by Freak itself and Siemens. Now Gary fighting for his life, gets silenced out. Is going to kill Bacon.
Wait, what?
Zuzu trades out with Siemens. This Rama is going crazy, but Gary finds the damage over the wall.
There is an Odin behind them, or is he running up at them with full health? He might be able to clean
Odin
these people up.
is running at them at full health. He has next to no damage.
Another Odin
on this
Dragon
kid.
just used it.
Yeah, it's back up because of Deso, because of how many
That's
kills
right.
and assists he got.
He did get like 3 kills and assists.
Jump over the wall with the Bologna ult. It is good, but the Chang'e ult is better.
This might just be game.
I don't think it's game with Underclass coming up in your ADC dead. It looks like they are going to try for Bird, but Yuhong is really low with no relics. Underclass is going to have that blink as soon as he respawns. They need to get this and get out. Do have a runic bomb. This might be their saving grace here. Should cause this to fall down. Now, Gary's got to get out of town. Does finally back up and respect some damage coming out of Underclass.
That was a really interesting fight from Bodega. They were trying to back out, but then they just turned and committed after they got the pick on Kuzembo. Which admittedly was the call, but I don't know if there was just miscommunication on your target or what, but they just kind of dropped the ball there.
Yeah, also, imagine how that fight goes if Zuzu has his star.
Yeah. If Zuzu has ult there, that should be just kind of free. But he didn't.
You know,
because,
things happen. They won the fight. They got left bird. EFG is back up. And we're gonna start this dance all over again. Looks like Pyro going to be looked at and narrowly outsecured by Vibe Tribe. Agni made it questionable there. But pulling out the bubble off of Itchy. A little surprised he went bubble this game into a Ganesha and an Agni that both pull that bubble like exceedingly easily, but does have it. Is down for another 60 seconds now, and this Fire Giant dance begins again. Odin over on the left side trying to clear out those waves. Did actually sell his Golden Blade too, so he is really not going to clear those waves. So I understand that he has TV, he's probably the person that has to. He's not, he can't clear these waves.
Fire Giant's getting really low, turning at a quarter health. Ramo in the air right now. And Bodega seals it.
Steal it away! They tried to wait out the Rama ult, but the Ganesh ult did enough damage. Underclass and Freak itself have finally been removed from the fight though. Ishtar trying to stay alive here. Odin jumps in, she doesn't have any damage. Steven does take out Itchy and kill him, doing Dragon's fused onto the Odin, who's 1 HP. Fire Giant does go to Bodega, but 3 members die in the process. Looks like they're going to try and siege this here. It is a 4v2 health. Your backline is not particularly healthy. You are going to use the Chang'e sustain to try and sustain. Terra also pushing up that wave. Do have 30 seconds. Should be a pretty free bird here.
You can just wait out a little bit if you're Vibe Tribe. They have the fire waves pushing into the Fire Giants, and they're just gonna send it.
They're just sending it. Ganesh ult not going to do a whole lot there. Good ult from the Chang'e, doesn't quite kill the elephant. Are going to pick up this mid bird as well, but only 5 seconds away are the Chang'e mid laner from Bodega. Vibe Tribe need to get out of here and are going to cleanly get 2 birds.
They lost the fire, but they got a lot out of it regardless after that really good pickup fight. So yeah, it really got a Vibe Tribe to just recognize, okay, we can get these just back out.
Yeah, it's a clean 2 birds and then a Primal Fury as well. How are we liking Bodega's base defense here as we barrel into this 50-minute mark?
The Bodega, oh my god, one shot him. But yeah, anyway, Bodega's
DCs are a bad class, by the way, Mini. Super bad class. Anyways.
Yeah, so, you know, if they have underclass, Bodega's defense is actually pretty strong with the Agni. With this Odin cage, is able to lock them down into the Dharmic pillars. So I do like the defense, but from Bodega Hive, they just have to group and not look for 1v1s against ADCs this late in the game when they will one-shot you. So
especially if your beat's down.
Yeah, especially if your beats are down.
Yeah, which they just came up, but they were not up for that engagement. Yeah, as things stand, it's just a 5v4. HE going to push in those mid lanes. Still 27 seconds on Underclass Hero. Bologna is in there once again, diving this Agni, baits out the Ganesh ult as well, but the cage is bought space. Left bird does go down. Itchy looking a little bit low here, but he's undeterred, just whacking away at that Odin. They got the left bird. Feels like they're not quite sure they can go for more. Decide to just take their left bird and back it up to this Pyromancer. Don't hate that call at all. Was essentially just going to be, you know, a true 5v5 inside that Titan.
Oh, they're setting
They're
up for
gonna
this.
bait a corner. I love this. It's, you know, you can say it's a scumbag move. It is good smite. It does just win games. The beads used on the Ishtar ult, Underclass is going to be okay, but Lam jumps over the wall, is going to take a lot of damage. Doesn't quite connect to that Bologna ult. But you pull the beads off of Susana, which is a big win for Vibe Tribe.
If you're Bodega right now, you have two calls, right? You could either have good faith in your base defense, even with the Vibe Tribe having the EFG, or you make a Hail Mary play and you just send it. So it looks like they're just gonna give it up and not defend it.
Yeah, Odin's gonna come say hi, but he's not going to get here in time. He's going to fall down before he even gets there.
Admittedly, the base siege from Vibe Tribe hasn't been the cleanest.
Yeah, no, sure hasn't. And the Freak itself is doing a ton of damage on this Agni. So, hey, it is EFG with 3 birds down. It doesn't feel great to give it up, but not sure they had too many choices there. Simon's got to be a little careful of that poke from the Agni. Looks like they are going to group up for this right hand Phoenix, using the sustain from EFG, sustain from Changa. Gonna let those fire waves push up the left side. That's a double wave at left, which is terrifying.
I would say a lot of minions, so you have a lot of damage on the Titan if they let that through. This right hand Phoenix should just spawn, it does quite fast.
Right hand bird going down. Trying to back it up here and go to mid. The Odin ult is good. Anthem Shell's forced out. Underclass is into the backline with a pretty good Typhoon. Does pull some relics there, but no kills falling down. Rom ults come out as well. Terra trying to sustain here. Doesn't look like she's quite on the same page as the rest of their team.
These fire waves are getting through though, and the Titan is currently half HP on the side of Bodega, so I mean,
It's half as mentioned. No ultimates available for Vibe Tribe. Perhaps just trying to wait for the ults to come back up here before that last push. But now fire waves are in from the left, they're in from the right. Fatty Bacon has been removed, and this Titan just goes down.
50-minute game one.
Not the cleanest game
No,
that
not
you would
at all.
expect coming out of these Vibe Tribe. Our number 2 seed versus number 8, but they do get it done. It takes 51 minutes, but Vibe Tribe do win game 1. What a game!
And honestly, most of that game, like the struggles from Vibe Tribe were coming from this Agni, the amount of damage he was putting out, the amount of like long range poke that he was putting down, especially notably on Kuzembo, because Kuzembo was getting very low in pretty much every one of these fights from the amount of damage poke he was taking. So I mean, yeah, they lost, but it was a lot closer than I think it seemed at the end there.
Yeah, a little bit of took Vibe Tribe a little bit of time, but they did get it done. Itchy doing 53,000 damage on this blown out. We weren't so sure it was going to work out. Itchy proved us wrong, along with 63,000 coming out from Freak itself, and both ADCs doing 50k. What a really back and forth game 1. We will be back shortly with game 2 of the set. Stay tuned.
Worth the fight. Moving on alone was not that right. 'Cause we were never meant to be. Dum dum da dum day. Dum dum supposed to. Goodbye to the past. Letting go of the darkness that kept tearing us down. Had to hit the rock bottom to understand that we weren't meant to be. We kept running from the shadows in the night, realizing it was not worth the fight. Moving on alone was what felt right, 'cause we were never meant to be. Dum dum da dum day, dum dum da dum day, dum dum da dum day, 'cause we were never meant to be.
once again to Camelot Smite League. This is our first round of playoffs in our Merlin division between Vibe Tribe and Bodega. We did see Vibe Tribe, our number 2 seed, pick up a 1-0 lead over our number 8 seed, Bodega Hive. But it was not as clean of a game as I think most of us were expecting. It did take 51 minutes for it to go down. How are you feeling about game 2 here, Kenneth?
Uh, I still think Bodega has the, or not Bodega, excuse me, Vibe Tribe has the edge being the number 2 seed now. But yeah, like you said, that game 1 was not super convincing. If it wasn't for some positioning and just overall execution issues on the side of Bodega, they easily could have had that win. So yeah.
I agree. Taking a look at picks and bans for game 2 to see the Vamana, Terra, Hercules, Hebo, and the Thor banned away. Notably, the Terra has been removed. Felt like that was some of the problem on the side of Vibe Tribe. We do see the Marty taken away as well. And I imagine this is going to be the Yamojo snap pick, and it sure is. Getting that Yamojo for Fatty Bacon. In my opinion, Yamojo is still the best Guardian in the game. She might still be the best character in the game if you're competent at her, which she's not an easy character, but she is so good if you're good at that character.
She brings a lot to a team fight. A lot of healing, which was nerfed, right? Yeah, a lot of healing. Excellent lockdown with the ult. A lot of displacement as well. Yamo just brings so much to a team fight.
Yeah, love that picks and bans that kind of went there. Ended up, with the Hebo and the Thor ban, stuff that you don't necessarily have to ban. Kind of manipulated the bans there so that they get Yamoja, and there's not a great response pick available for
I
Vibe
love
Tribe
this pick.
here. Terra's gone, but it is going to be a Horus and a
Come,
Merlin.
we shall fly together.
Love that. I think Merlin's still super good. The
Let the
Horus can
sound
be
of
flexed to
slaughter
solo
begin.
or support. Imagine he'll be going support this game. A lot of lockdown, a lot of pressure, and just, his escape's on like a 10-second cooldown now because that's something that needed to happen, according to Hi-Rez.
I firmly believe, it might be a hot take, but I firmly believe Horus is the best support in the game right now. He just brings so much lockdown, so much CC, so much single target burst, as well as a semi-global ultimate that he can move his entire team around with. It just brings, probably, in my opinion, more than Yamoja does to a team fight. So I really like this top pick on the side of Vibe Tribe.
Yeah, it is really good.
That's a
Don't get me
Chronos.
wrong. I'm a little surprised to see Giannis picked
Time is
up
on our
with
side.
Kali. In my opinion, the way you deal with Horus is range CC, so that when he does dash in and CC a frontliner, he's almost always going to try and channel that one. I think the Agni would have been amazing for Freak itself here again, but wants the Giannis, wants to try and hard carry a game with that rotation. I respect it.
The Chronos.
I don't respect the Chronos. Why are we picking Chronos in this day and age, boys?
The Chronos is very interesting. I
Yeah.
assume it's going ADC. I assume it's going ADC.
It has to be.
It's
I mean,
even earlier this year when mage ADCs were kind of running things, Chronos wasn't exactly high up on the list because he doesn't have the
Chronos when he was relevant. I think that character, for a while, was very good. He loved the Book of Thoth when that was an item that could be built and didn't get nerfed like 8
No,
times.
yeah, I agree. But you don't build him like the traditional ADC sense, something
No.
that you would with like a Soul or a Freya. So he scales incredibly hard. He might be the hardest scaling god in the game, or one of them at least, especially with the passive. But as far as your team fight, I don't know what he would bring that, say, like the Ishtar wouldn't match.
Yeah, I'm questioning the Chronos, questioning what build he's gonna go. As you mentioned, don't normally see that ring build coming out from him. It's not particularly good right now. And Chronos doesn't build it half the time, even when it was good. But also, Book of Thoth is not good right now, so a little curious where that goes. use the eggshell hover just to troll people. Love that. But instead, it's gonna be the Bologna. Itchy wants it back. Did do 53k. Did also just absolutely get picked a couple times.
Itchy
But
was cooking. Itchy was
he was
cooking on it,
cooking.
though. All right, he was cooking on it.
They will all
On the other
obey
side, you
their
see the
goddess.
Ishtar return, something that makes a lot more sense than the Kronos, in my opinion. Other than a Tyr
The
coming
law
out for El
returns to
Rizzi,
this
he just
land.
loves this pick. I do think Tyr is absolutely horrible right now, but
I do agree with that.
he is fun, and it is a pick that Rosa likes. So I get it. I get it. I just don't think it's good. So
I think I think
hovered.
looking at these two comps right now, if this does get locked in, I honestly think if this game goes past 25 minutes, that Vibe Tribe kind of just wins. It goes on bets, okay. But yeah, I think if this game goes past 25 minutes, Vibe Tribe kind of just wins with Kronos plus Merlin. It's insane amount of damage. Giannis is
Maybe Yemoja Kali's scary on the other side too. Neither of these drafts have like a whole lot of synergy in my opinion. I'm not
I,
really too sure what either team's
Listen
trying to
to my
accomplish in
words.
their
I,
draft.
I think the Hunt Bat's coming in from Silent, which is one of his better gods to play. I think this might be the difference maker. Giannis is incredibly mobile, so it's hard to chase him down. Kali as well, really hard to kill with the ultimate. The Hunt Bat's ult gives you that lockdown that you need that you don't necessarily get from Bologna. So I definitely think I definitely prefer the draft on the side of Vibe Drive more as the game gets later. As long as they're not behind in gold, or XP, they should be winning most of these team fights as long as like they focus one person essentially.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think they have some pretty decent follow up off the horse as well? Merlin, Kronos, I mean, if you don't have beads and you get chain CC'd into
You
a
just
Kronos
kinda-
stun with Merlin damage, you are just dying. There is nothing that you can do about it. So I like that. I do love the Emoja on the other side though. I mean, nothing in Five Tribes draft particularly likes the Emoja. Even Merlin that can flicker out, it's so easy to riptide the Merlin after that. The flicker is not a long range escape. Bologna going to have to either just stand and fight or up down in it. Uh, could be. I think Emoji just always has that possibility of winning the game for you just outright.
I agree, but if I'm looking at this Vibe Tribe team, this is like the definition of a ticking time bomb.
Yeah,
Once
it's a pretty
once
potent late game.
Kronos goes to normal build, he gets what's the item it's a book. My mind is blanking. My mind is
Ollie?
blanking. Poly. He goes Polynomicon. He will one shot quite literally anybody that's not a tank.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
Uh,
this draft from Vibe Tribe will get significantly better in my opinion than Bodega as this game goes on.
I think the only scary thing is I don't know how you peel a collie.
That's true. I do
Uh,
not know either.
Kronos or Merlin does not get away from that character. Assuming that the collie will have a bubble at some point in this game. She's gonna, yeah, the bubble's gonna immune Chrono stun or immune the horror stun, and then Kali's knockup immune and then ult, so you can't one the Kali after on the Horus knockup. Could be some problems for the Merlin specifically. Would like to see Kali go kind of the one shot Kali build. I think it's gonna be much more effective for dealing with a Chronos specifically. You can just one tap the Chronos if he doesn't have beads. If you go the full power Hydra's, that tile build, whereas the auto attack build, Chronos should be able to get his ult off most of the time. Don't think we'll see it. Haven't seen a whole lot of the one tap Kali, even though personally I think it's her best build. And I know a couple of the junglers I'm friends with share that same thought, but regardless, it's still Kali in the late game.
Yeah, it's one of the best late game hyper carries in the game. Kali brings a lot to a team fight, becoming unkittable quite literally. But it's getting there. That's a problem for Kali. She doesn't farm particularly well up until she gets Golden Blade online, and until then, she's really bad at it. So we'll have to see how it goes. Um, but I firmly think the early game is in the side of Vibe Tribe. Once level 5 hits, Simon's gonna be able to rotate around. The Fear No Evil, one of the best team fight ults in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like Simon being on something a bit more team fighty. I mean, Chongo's team fight's not bad, don't get me wrong, but it's very ult dependent on finding a good ultimate and essentially people standing in a line for each other.
Yeah.
How about, yeah, you still need people grouped up, but you don't need them to be in a line, which also really good at separating team fights. I think that's what you see a lot of the really good Hunbats players do, is not even so much try and kill the carries off of the ult, but force them to not be able to help their front line. I mean, even if Yamoja or Tier, either of them gets Hunbats ulted and separated from their backline, they're just going to die. I mean, with the status might, yes, ADCs got nerfed, yes, mages got nerfed. When they're full build, they still do a lot of damage.
Oh yeah.
If your backline's not able to help you, you will just die, especially to Horus CC off of the Humbat's ult that's keeping your carries away.
Yeah, the engagement from Vibe Tribe is probably better than the side of Bodega. Though, again, there is some counterplay, mostly with the Simoja. She is the one that's going to be dictating these fights. If Fatty Bacon is on his Simoja money, he'll be able to dictate how these fights go.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure onto this Umoja, especially to try and help everyone get through this mid game. Giannis is okay pressure, but not great. Ishtar should win the pressure pretty hard in that lane.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you that if this goes 25 plus, Vibe Tribe are probably just favored. I think the team fought just a little bit better last game and do probably just have the better comp at 25 minutes late. Would like to see them sit on this Chronos specifically. It's a character that we haven't seen in a while for a reason. It is, it's not great until about 20 minutes. So would like to see Underclass and Fatty Bacon pay some attention to this duo lane. You have an Ishtar that's going to have so much pressure, going to be able to force either the beats or the ult out of the Chronos pretty regularly. So should make some kills possible over in this duo lane.
Chronos isn't exactly the safest god in the world. The ult is very good, but again, your positioning 8 seconds prior to where you were is what dictates that. So you gotta like know where you're at that point. You have to pay attention to where you're at constantly.
And in duo lane, like a lot of the time, it's gonna be pretty much where you are. You're just kind of standing on the wave, hitting waves. Like you're not really going anywhere most of the time. And obviously, it does give you your HP back and all that fun stuff, but not gonna reposition you a whole lot very often. Do see some aggression coming out in the mid lane. I think it's just a conduit gem diff for the Giannis going that conduit, whereas
At first blood goes to Samon.
And Zuzu falls down. Horus could be in some trouble here too. Yeah, I'm shocked they're willing to step up to that wave against Yamoja. Ishtar is close to the most pressure you can get. And Horus is the pressure. Chronos is not good pressure.
Yeah.
Kind of shocked they were willing to step up there. And it's a free first blood for Zuzu, or for Seaman.
Yeah, you don't really get a whole lot out of the Chronos clear early. Once he gets this book online, then they'll be a lot better. They'll be a lot safer, or not safer. They'll be able to clear wave essentially. So I don't really like the call to try and push up that far before that. So like, I don't know. It's an interesting decision.
Yeah, it's not even that Chronos' clear is bad. His clear's actually pretty good. It's that you have to get your 3 onto the wave, you have to stand at archers, which just isn't great into a Yamoja, into an Ishtar that can punish you really hard for standing that far up. I mean, assuming he doesn't level his 2, which at level 2, which most Chronoses don't. He does full clear archers at level 3 with a 3-1, but you just have to position so far up to actually be allowed to do that.
Which is definitely not being able to do right now.
No, definitely not positioning very far up right now, or at least maybe shouldn't be. Pressure just continuing to mount in this duo lane. Does look like they're not gonna look for the purple buff. Maybe not sure where Simon was. It's on that green, but is at least on the left side of the map. Meanwhile, Kali making sure that Rosa gets his blue buff this game, not going to let this Bologna snowball as hard as she did last game, at least not off of early blue buffs.
Yeah, the pressure that Simon was able, or not Simon, excuse me, Itchy was able to get early in last game really like set the tone, or set the pace rather, that he wanted to go for. So he did a really good job of that last game. But yeah, like you said, now it looks like we're getting some help on the blue. He's not gonna be able to. Okay. Yeah, he's not gonna be able to farm as easily as he was before, as long as Kali keeps putting some, at least a moderate amount of pressure over here.
Yeah, I do like Itchy going for that ult there, realizing that Tyr didn't buy TP, which I think is correct for the record. I think going Blink Beads on that character is what you want 99% of the time. But it does mean that your lane's a little bit worse. Itchy going with that TP once again. I think also the only noticeable thing about not going TP for the late game is Chronos can split push. There's not going to be a TP on the other side to try and deal with that split push. As the ult comes out onto Chronos, is holding onto his ultimate like a madman, does die to it. I thought he was maybe out of mana. He was pretty full mana. I do not understand why the Chronos tried to hold on to his ult. Does die for it.
To be fair, if Kali was not there, he does get away with it. I guess he didn't know where she was, and you saw him trying to cast it, but as she don't tower, but by that point it was way too late. So
yeah, just really late on the ult there. Uses the beads as well. So now it's 2 kills for this Ishtar onto the Chronos. Pretty much worst case scenario if you're on the side of Vibe Tribe. Or Ishtar's getting huge. Chronos is trying to go Book of Thoth. And she's got her Devos already finished before. Chronos is probably not even close to finishing this Book of Thoth with a head guess. Merlin getting really aggressive.
Out of mana though.
Going to force his beads. Does have just enough for that flicker. Oh, Conduit Gem, not quite enough. Is the monkey toss going to find its way home?
It doesn't.
It doesn't! Simon either misses or doesn't have the cooldown. Not sure which one. Giannis gets out with a hair of HP in that mid lane.
That was a really good play from Freak Out. He knew the sacred monkey toss was coming, so he poured to the ground. He felt the root, and the monkey did not hit him, so he was able to just walk away.
Yeah, saves his life there, kind of. A little bit surprising he's able to get out there, but hey, the Jeeps were good. He read it right. Gets himself out. A-okay. Did use the beads, and the ultimate is still down, but Simon did use the ultimate as well, so it should be okay as long as he holds on to that ult for the next couple minutes while his beads are down.
Now we're back
Once
to
again, despite early kills going over to one team, it's only it's not a it's 100 too. Despite Seaman being so far ahead, Chronos is now caught up in levels somehow, which I'm honestly not sure how that happened. Is looking like half a level down, but was down 2. I guess yeah, just Itchy is ahead again in his lane. There hasn't been ganks on either side in that lane, so it's gotta just be Itchy forcing some waves under the tower. And Mojo under so much pressure here though, just deleted by Merlin damage.
And that was just pretty easy. Fatty just stepped up too far, and he just got punished for it. That's simple as that.
Yeah, it is also level 6. Is going to Pathetic again. It is easier to stack Pathetic on the Yamoja than the Terra. But is still a slower early game build. Chronos using his ult there to perhaps try and get aggressive. Looks like the Horus ult is coming. Is going to drop into the tower. Ishtar ult is good. Hold on to the beads from Chronos, not knowing what else is coming. Really well played by Seaman to not die to that gank there.
It was a bit of an ambitious call on the side of Vibe Tribe, but not a whole lot lost outside of a
beats out of the Ishtar. Portal's good. Giannis also good. Beautiful Fear and Hell Evil. Just a little bit too late and no follow-up off it. Trying to set down this Horus as well. Stays too long. Underclass dies to essentially tower, but the Humbats gets credit for it. Just a little bit too aggressive on the Kali.
You got the pick. You should have just backed out after that.
Oh, for sure. But that is not the game we are playing. Underclass does get 2 assists there, but does also fall down. He does fall down to his opponent, which is, not ideal. Would have probably liked to see it go on to the
Oh wait, mid
the
tower's gone
Horus,
already.
but mid tower is gone.
That's a huge bit of safety.
Did
gone
Gary
for-
just stay in auto that the whole time?
Yeah,
I
I'm pretty
guess
sure.
he
I'm
must have.
pretty sure he did.
I mean, I don't hate it. Like there was no reason for him to rotate left. Like that fight was essentially over. You just kind of have to understand sometimes that, especially in something like a Merlin versus Giannis, that he's just going to out rotate you.
Yeah.
And, it's where comms are so important. Talking with your team of like, hey, like this isn't a big deal, or like, hey, maybe we can turn this if you come, but if you feel like you're not gonna be able to get there in time, just stay and farm. You said that mid T1 going down is such a big deal. Opens up the map so much for the rest of the game. Really makes Pyro and Gold so much easier to pull because the enemy mid laner just can't safely get close.
It also does give a good bit of gold to the side of Vibe Tribe as well. They're up about 1,000 gold, just shy of 1,000 gold right now, which isn't like the biggest lead in the world. Okay, 800. But which isn't the biggest lead in the world, but it has the potential to spiral out of control as you get a pause coming through.
You get a pause coming out. Hoping that everybody's doing okay on the internet, but maybe just need a quick reset from somebody coming out here. Going forwards is still a pretty close lead. Would like to see them keep playing through the mid lane on the side of Vibe Tribe. Gary has looked really good on this Merlin. Not afraid to dash in with that fire stance and just Merlin. He's never been bad, literally ever. I feel like sometimes people forget how much damage that character does, and Gary did not forget. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, Gary's been playing pretty well. I can't talk. Jesus. Freak itself has done really good abusing the rotational power of Giannis as well. So I mean, both these mid laners are playing quite well overall. But it's losing the mid tower that's like the biggest concern right now. Because again, like you said before, Giannis doesn't have the ability to just go back to tower if he gets stove on. He's gonna have to go all the way down to his T2 or hope that his Emoja or his Kali are around to try and get him out.
Yeah,
So
definitely not an ideal. I mean, at least on Giannis, you are a relatively safe character, so it might not feel quite as bad for the Giannis. But even beyond the Giannis, like just for the rest of your team, if you're trying to contest Gold or Pyro, you no longer have the option to run to mid. It's just T2 is too far away almost all the time. Going to have to see how it plays out. As it looks like we are jumping back into the game here. Just a quick pause coming out. Yamoja ult forced out defensively, but Bacon, realizing that he was in trouble, does get the ult off A-OK, but that's a long cooldown.
yeah, it's very long. I think it got nerfed recently. I remember that. I think it's at 110 seconds. I want to say.
I want to say it's 120, but it's a long time. Is the moral of the story? That's all comes out. Everyone is going to be okay. Does get beads out of Freak itself. Now the gold fear getting looked at as nobody from Bodega is here for this. Looks like solo laners have rotated as well, or at least Itchy has. Pyro going to be the response from Bodega. And looks like Vibe Tribe either doesn't know or doesn't care that this is getting traded out. Do you think they probably could have contested it, but not going to. A Horus ult was used to try and get them there in time, but just quite a bit late there. It is a response from Bodega. It is not worth nearly as much gold as the Gold Fury after those changes that they made.
Yeah, you see this gold lead for Vibe Tribe very steadily climbing up right now. They're 1400 gold at the moment. And again, as this game gets later and you continue to keep this lead, it's only gonna be better for Vibe Tribe's comp.
Yeah, their comp does does not slow down in the late game, as we've talked about quite a bit on this cast. That they're gonna be feeling a-okay if they're anywhere near even, especially if they're ahead going into
Oh yeah,
this
goodbye.
late game.
Goodbye, Zizo.
Late deleted.
I got smoked. But yeah, that was just a really good play from. That was a really good play from Underclass. He got the beads, he got the ult out from Zuzu, and at that point, it's just clean up for Simon.
Yeah, the Chronos 0-4
Yeah,
is
Zuzu's not having a good
the
time.
only person on his team who has died.
Zuzu is not having a good time right now.
He is not having a good time. With that said, though, it's been Vibe trying pulling the Gold Fury, and they got the first Gold Fury of the game, though. We just cast a curse for that man so hard. He's going to stand and fight. Maybe
Yes,
we
babe.
didn't. Maybe he's got the jukes. He does the River's Rebuke as well. He is going to be okay. As I say that, there's a Merlin out, Mr. Ishtar, though the stun from the horse not quite enough. And now the Kali is forced into the destruction ultimate. Horse channeling that ult is just going to
Zuzu's running her down right now.
Zuzu trying his best. The horse ult does not quite predict the movement. Merlin isn't going to flicker into tower, thankfully. A lot used there to try and chase out a Kali who it's and then Itchy finds the Kali.
It's still going.
Still alive. No way.
Underclass is running for his life right now.
He's out. Ladies and gentlemen,
finally
he
get out.
is okay. The Fearless onto the Merlin. Alrosa maybe 50 damage off from killing Gary as the ultimate from Freak itself cleans up Gary, looking for another one. Seaman takes the portals, cleans up Zuzu, who is now 0-5. And there's not an objective up.
I ain't gonna lie.
They're just fighting to fight.
I ain't gonna lie, Zuzu's kind of getting cooked right now.
Just straight up not having a good time.
He's very behind on his build. He's very behind. He's down about 11.5, I'd say.
Can we take a look at net worth? I'm curious how far behind this Chronos is. Take a look here. He's down 700 gold. That's not that bad.
It really
It's
isn't.
really not. I mean, underclass almost getting soloed by Itchy over a totem of Q that he does not get. Hate to see that.
Yeah,
Is the vital amplifier again? What is going on, man?
Bologna is not the one you want to fight if you're Kali. It's such a hard matchup for Kali to try and win.
Zuzu is unafraid.
Zuzu's just sending it. He's completely ignored the wave. He's just running
In the tower, gets the beads. Love is a panic beads from the Ishtar. Is now going to get Hum. That's altered. Realizes that maybe they should have held on to those beads. Chronos 1 is off the mark. No way that Seaman gets out of this. Overhead smash.
It's a 1-for-1.
Tower's gonna kill. Simon walks back into tower trying to take the Giannis ult instead of just trying to get away from the Giannis ult. Speaking of Giannis, picks up Zuzu 0-6, speed running that triple double, but in the wrong direction.
They took way too long. We're still fighting. All right.
Itchy is here and wants to fight as per usual. Underclass is diving the support as per usual. Is probably just dead here. Gets the kill on the support. Dies himself. Definition of not worth. But boy, are we here doing it anyways. Rosa is just taking out the right side jungle. Think it's probably the right decision here. Realizing that he's still behind. Just try and take away farm. Does take away the red buff, which is gotta feel pretty good for this tier.
Both of these teams are just kind of running it down pretty hard right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's I couldn't really tell you what's going on in this game, but we're playing Smite.
Despite Zuzu being 0-6, 2 levels down, they're still just sending it, and I respect it, you know.
They are absolutely sending it. Perhaps we shouldn't be playing mage ADCs, but you know, who am I to say? His team is still winning, probably despite his performance, but they are still winning. In fact, Vibe Tribe's feeling confident enough to pull the Gold Fury on the same side of the map as the guy that's 0-6, which I think tells you a lot about how this game's going. Bodega should like these fights. Giannis.
Oh, what happened?
Oh no!
That is so unfortunate.
Oh yeah, that is the thing.
He placed
That's
the portal on top of his ult, and he got portaled back. That's so unfortunate. Yeah. You actually hate to see that.
That's an unfortunate. Yeah, that is the thing that happens, and I don't think that Freakasoft was aware that that is a mechanic in the game, but it sure is. While all this is happening, Vibe tried to pick up the Gold Fury that they do kick up. 3 kills, 2 going to Seaman. This Ishtar starting to get a little bit out of control. 7-2, going to be the end of it. So a 3-for-1 on the side of Bodega, but the Gold Fury does fall down to Vibe Tribe.
They both get the Pyromancer as well, which should swing the goat back in favor of Bodega. Yeah, this is just Semon just kind of doing what he wants right now. He just got that early lead from that first blood on Zuzu, and since then Zuzu has not been able to play the game.
No, absolutely not. Does pick up Aegis, which is good. Do see those Chronoses pick up Blink sometimes, but when you are this far behind, Blink is not an option. It just simply isn't. I'm sorry. Does have that Aegis, should be able to live quite a bit longer. Does mean he is going to be less effective in the late game. That Blink is important for your offense. Somehow Itchy is still a level up. I don't understand. He must just be taking farm from like his mid laner at this point.
Itchy's just been a farming machine.
He's been in left lane for 5 minutes.
That's what I'm saying.
And Rosa's been invading. What is happening? How are you not ahead? Zuzu, no, not like this.
Don't fight this. No, stop. You're down to Jersey.
No, all comes out now. I think Seaman not realizing how close that rewind was coming. Chronos does not have beads. I think if Seaman commits the ult there, Zuzu's 0-8, but as it is, Zuzu's gonna be okay for now, but no beads, no ult, which probably means Vibe Tribe's coming back over, or excuse me, that Bodega's coming back over, because they seem to have a crush on Zuzu.
Yeah, Zuzu's kind of just spent the entire game getting ran at by various people, not just Semon.
Oh, almost everybody has run at Zuzu sometime this game.
But I understand it. It's a Chronos. This is like of any god in the game that you don't want to get to the game. You don't want Chronos to be that one.
Absolutely. I mean, Gary's done a good job of getting his farm. I think once his Merlin rotates into fights a little bit more actively, could be really good for Vibe Tribe. If the plan is to 4-man dive the Chronos, Merlin does a ton of damage. Itchy
He got a reset.
gets blinked, or not blinked on. It just got pushed out of his tower. The Giannis damage is good enough. That's a big kill to get Itchy off the table for a few minutes and let Rosa get some of that lead back. Oh, underclass. Does have the ultimate. Trades his beads and ult for just the ult out of the Hanbatsu. Also has much more CDR, so can't be feeling great. Understar did commit what's, in my opinion, the cardinal sin of playing these auto attackers, which is building Hasten Katana. If we hover that item, there's a whopping 25 power on it.
Yeah, the negative
no
power you get. The negative
no
power.
pen.
But on Kali,
barely any attack speed.
out of all of the auto attackers in the jungle, Kali is the only one that needs it though.
He really doesn't though, and that's
her chase down is not as good as Bakasura. She doesn't have any CC outside of a stun. So it's really hard for her to stick to her targets.
Yeah, you speed buff plus katanas. You don't the other katanas, not that katana. That one's bad. Yeah, in my opinion, you do not need that item ever on any character. It is you just hit so slowly with that item, or not slowly, but you don't hit for any damage. I mean, his autos are probably doing 100 right now, maybe 150, which is just it's not ideal.
The fire trample.
The 4 members of Bodega on the left side going for that Gold Fury. They have no idea this
There's
fire
no
giant
idea
is
this is
going
going
down
on.
for Vibe Tribe.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's even remotely close. I actually like that Zuzu's in mid lane, just giving off the, the idea that, hey, my team's not on Fire Giant. Their ADC's not there. Surely they're not doing Fire Giant. And of course, they are doing Fire Giant, taking out the T1 tower as well. They might even just keep going for T2. I mean, nobody from Bodega's backing. You see that backs come out now, but that's just going to be too late. Giannis ult maybe will be sent here. Is going to be sent here. Good damage onto
Almost
Gary,
one-shot him.
forced to retreat, but going to be okay. Looks like his back's gonna get off. Okay, unless Tyr is in range. Isn't. Hunbat's ult used defensively. Itchy might be the one that dies for his team's mistakes. Horus also going to fall down here. Poor Zuzu, trying to not be 0-8, running for his life, is going to rewind very far away. Is going to run, not going to get away from Chronos, but could potentially kill the Chronos. The beads are down. That's a lot of damage. The stun's good.
It's 0-8 on Zuzu.
If Zuzu has 100 more
Gary
HP,
does die.
If Zuzu has 100 more HP, Freak itself is dead there, by the way, but because his beads were down. But luckily the auto connects and is enough damage. A fortunate turn of events for the Giannis and a unfortunate turn of events for Zuzu. This game is just not going Zuzu's way.
And that was a very good Fire Giant pull on the side of Vibe Tribe. And a great T1 drop, but the push to the tier 2 was probably not what I would have gone for. Especially when you have your ADC, it just took you longer to do it. It was just, that was a sketchy call.
I don't mind the call in the T1, beautiful, but you gotta realize on the other side that it's a Giannis. They can get there. So I think you just take your T1 and leave. I think you're very happy there. But Demon is shut down there, which is a big kill.
What
9-3 ult from the Giannis, beautiful,
And
absolutely erases Simon. Underclass is dead again. Falling down in that destruction. Itchy picking up another kill. Does have that Kins done again. The same build as last game. Just doing so much damage. Beautiful portal from the Giannis too.
Freak itself has been playing out of his mind right now on this Giannis.
Played very well in the Giannis, bar not knowing that if you ult through one of your portals, you go backwards.
Yeah, besides that one mistake, he's played excellent.
All I'm saying, if you're picking Giannis in comp, you better be you better be really good at Giannis, because if you're not, that character's trolling. But Seaman does kill Gary along with Kuzenbo. This Ishtar is out of control.
I try to take some really interesting calls in their fights.
He's gonna portal out.
Yeah, there's Zuzu 0-9 now. This guy.
Oh no, Zuzu just not having a good time. Itchy forced to blink out defensively. The portals are good juke of the Giannis abilities. Should mean that Itchy lives, but Bodega is up 3,000 gold. And the towers are pretty even, a T1 and T2 and duo on the side of Bodega, with the T2s and mid and duo for Vibe Tribe. I mean, Vibe Tribe's comp is scary at this point in the game. The Chronos has not been effective.
Yeah, the Chronos has been a non-factor all game.
Yeah, it hasn't been great. 800 XP per minute for the Giannis, that's actually disgusting. That's a lot of XP. Anyways, that's wild. I mean, he is playing Giannis, so that's kind of cheating. But Fire Giant looked at again by Vibe Tribe. This time, Freak itself is aware. Giannis holds onto his beads until the last second. Does ult away. Doesn't actually even use his beads. But there should be a lot of space created. The Horus ult is good. Looking at Rosa, the Fear ult gets him out. Now Underclass perhaps in some trouble. Jump is out as well though. The blink extended from the Kali though for not much. Now Vibe Tribe gonna walk back towards this Fire Giant. The stain from Bodega is good though because of the Umoja. They are down some ultimates and some relics, but they are healthy for this Fire Giant. Emoji wall goes up. Seems like Fire Giant is at a quarter. The DPS is stopped on the side of 5 Tribe. Fire Giant just hanging out at about 2k HP. Underclass gets a kill. Zuzu gets a kill. More importantly,
This is on the board.
Bodega gets the Fire Giant, picks up 3, and this could be the end of the game. Hunbat's trying to get over that wall. Does have the ultimate. Even if he lives, still probably game. Just for good sake, one more for the Giannis freak itself. Putting out a clinic.
This man. Don't let him get this god again. This is the end of the game. The game is over. Next game, you are banning the Giannis first. Freak itself has played out of his mind on this Giannis. That ultimate, every ultimate so far has been absolutely pinpoint perfect.
Yeah, has looked so good on this Giannis. Ends the game at 9, 1, and 5, top of the player charts. Also, Seaman going 12, 3, and 6. 10k damage out of the backline of Bodega over anybody on 5 Tribe. That's just a backline diff right there.
Yeah, honestly, that actually was. The Chronos was non-existent the entire game. We finally got a kill though. But yeah, the Chronos 1 and 10 was basically a non-factor. Gary looked good on a Merlin, but your Merlin, you're really easy to. You're relatively easy to get dove upon. And yeah, he did decent damage, but as the game got later, he wasn't able to stay alive long enough to get any of that damage out. Simon missed 85% of his Fear No Evos.
You know, it was a little bit of a rough one from the side of App Tribe. But with all things said, we are going to take a quick break before we hop into Game 3. Stay tuned to figure out who advances to the semifinals.
If the sky's breaking down, if the lightning comes to strike, I'll be the projection on the wall that it lights. I can't line, just look into the sky and follow the light. My fate in my own hands, gleam in my eyes. Give me the thunder, hear the thunder, cozy thunder, right now. Give me the thunder, hear the thunder, cozy thunder, right now. Give me a
Welcome back, everybody, for Game 3 of our quarterfinals between Vibe Tribe and Bodega Hive. Once again, my name is Halanu alongside Canade with the Wolfie Pup on the Spectate. Set is tied up at 1 game apiece, playing one more game to figure out who goes to semifinals. Who are you thinking is going to get the better end of this one?
After that last game, it's anybody's game. It can go to anybody. Game 1, Vibe Tribe did take it, but they didn't look particularly clean. And then game 2, Freak itself and Neon just put on a clinic.
Fear what is unseen.
Kind of soloed everybody. So I mean,
Yeah, as a result, we do see that Giannis is just banned away. They don't want to deal with it. I think, Frigg itself has always been an aggressive player and aggressive in his positioning, and Giannis just fits that place out so well. So they do not want to deal with it. And also, as a result of, banning something kind of off meta, do get the Marta chorus is let through when we have the Habla, the Thor, the Yamucha, Famana, and Hercules taken off the table. Does mean Terra is still up here for the side of Bodega, but Marty has been doing rather well in his debut to competitive play.
yeah, Marty brings a lot of damage. Is really safe as well with the ultimate, as well as the grass. So I mean, he's a hard god to lock down completely. He brings a lot to team fights as well with the damage with the CC. I assume he's gonna be going mid. That's usually
I
where he's.
prefer him in mid. I think it really enables a kind of double hunter type of comps, and we do see the Ishtar getting hovered and then locked alongside the Chang'e. I really
They will
like
all
this top
obey
three.
their goddess.
Vibe Tribe, Chang'e, based off game 1, might be going into that solo
With me
lane
you
again,
all
or into
shall
the jungle,
flourish
excuse me.
and prosper.
With your double hunter comp, could potentially see another magical dealer over in that solo lane as well. Do see the Cernanos and the Kali on the side of Bodega. Underclass had a pretty good game. Late game, the Kali had had some good moments in the late game. And then Cern, I love this for Seaman. I think it is the most aggressive hunter. And Seaman's been, he was cooking last game, so give him the aggressive pick and let him go to work versus Zuzu.
Now in Zuzu's defense, he was playing a bad god. Right? He
was playing a bad god.
He was playing
However,
a bad god.
in his non-defense, many people were telling us after the game that is actually his best pick. It just didn't look good that game. And,
That is unfortunate.
that is very unfortunate. It did not. Yeah, he was not cooking.
He was not.
Do you see Ganesh banned out on the side of Bodega? Want to take away that easy Terra counter. Merlin taken away from as well. Not going to let Freak itself get that character. Don't blame them. Expecting probably an Agni ban to come in. Did so much damage game 1. I'm gonna guess that they're not gonna want that, and they sure don't. And Cullen coming out for El Rosa, maybe anticipating that the
Where are you
Chong'es could
going?
still go solo, want to get some anti-heal into that lane. And we see an Afro hovered. A pick that hasn't been picked or banned this set, and something that is definitely higher execution, that is going to get pivoted into a Capri hover. Yet instead, I think that's something that's going to make quite a bit more sense than the Afro. I think if you haven't picked Afro at this point in the set, you're probably not super comfortable with it as a team. And I would not be putting my playoff life onto a pick that we haven't practiced a whole lot. Is Kepri. Most supports play Kepri. He's Kepri. He's always good.
He's the big
Everyone
bug.
loves a hug bug.
The revive, the PO that he offers, very good. Especially for his Kali. Just ulting whoever she's on, getting them out basically scot free. It's always gonna be worth it. Always gonna have impact.
Yeah. Much prefer the Capri, though it is still being hovered. Hasn't been locked in yet. Vibe Tribe taking some time. I think the realizing that this is the playoff life on the line for both teams here. Trying to make sure that these last couple picks are exactly what they want. Now a Ymir hover coming out is a couple picks on the side of Bodega that don't get over that wall, but not too many. Does
really like
settle on the Atlas.
I really like the Atlas here. Atlas brings a lot of CC, a lot of good lane pressure. the ultimate is very strong into these tanks, gonna shred their prots.
It is pressure. I'm concerned about the late game from
Time
Five
to
here.
eat.
Atlas has literally no way to peel Kali.
This is true.
He is knock-up immune in her ult. She pops that ult immediately, and Atlas cannot do anything about it. Same thing with Atlas. A lot of times in the late game, you want to pick up a frontliner and displace it, and Terra just pops her monolith, just throws her monolith down, and you can't pick up the Terra. I think if this goes to even on the late game, the Atlas could struggle quite a bit to be effective. The Bakasura pick, on the other hand, I do like that pick. The Cripple, very good into CERN, very good into Terra. Bakasura did get, some nerfs via his items getting nerfed, but the character is still very strong in my opinion.
Yeah, the Eat Minion getting buffed earlier this year was absolutely everything that God needed and wanted. On an 8-second cooldown is just insane. Yeah, Bakasura as the game gets later, he might be able to just
Face
outscale
the
Kali
wrath
as
of a
well.
sorceress
Especially with the true
scorned.
damage on his 3. He just brings a lot to a team fight, and especially in 1v1 early.
Yeah, two gods that want to play pretty similarly come late game, just looking for those big blink initiations and then eat the backline. Bakasura's case, quite literally eat the backline. Though does look like we're going to potentially get there's a chance that we got Bakasura solo. Does look like it's going back into the jungle. That could have been a spicy little twist there. If we got the Baka solo, something that is pretty popular and ranked. Not usually a comp strategy, but I would have liked to see it. It would have.
It would have been nice to see a Boxer, especially on lane. The fact that his Eat Minion is on an 8-second cooldown just means he never gets out pressured. He trades very well. But even in the jungle, it's the same thing. He trades very well early. As soon as you level your 3, you pop it, you get your true damage off, and early that really hurts. So I mean, it would have been fine either way, no matter which spot he went to.
Yeah, I think as long as Golden Blade is an item that is viable to be built, Bakasura will be a happy jungler. That true damage on his 3 working through Golden Blade for some reason. Do not understand that one personally from a balance decision, but hey, not my game.
All right, Bakasura hasn't been good in a long time, right? Let him have this.
He hasn't been good for a while. That is true. I mean, I want to say it was like last time we saw Bakasura in like competitive was like season 5, season 6. I want to say where what comes to my mind is adapting really used to like that pick, but it's been at least 3 or 4 seasons. So I suppose we can let Bakasura stay relevant for a little bit.
Yeah, look at these teams though. I don't think I really have a decision on which one just kind of wins it. Both these teams have good early games. They scale hard late. Yeah, this is a hard one like looking at these two teams just in this menu. Like I don't really think I'd have a favorite.
I think that if the blink ults are consistently going on to freak itself from the Chang'e, that this game should go pretty well for Black Trap. Morgan Le Fay is one of the only mages that deals with Bakasura ult pretty well. Drops the fear on herself, has the knock-up on herself, can ult to try and just trade damage. Can, until literally, max build for everybody, she just kind of out-trades Baka, even in that ultimate. Not a whole lot of mages can do that, so I think the Chang'e needs to help out Labaka a little bit. Even if you just put the damage in, even if you don't get relics, just Morgan starting that fight at 60% HP instead of 100 should mean the Baka is able to take care of Freak itself, which I think we pretty clearly saw last game that if you don't take care of Freak itself, he's just going to hard carry the game.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, this Morgan Le Fay is another god that he really likes to go on. So yeah, he should be looking good on this as well. So I assume Simon's gonna have a hard time just trying to look for a 1v1 onto him. He's also gonna have a hard time with underclass as well in like a 1v1 scenario, considering the destruction ultimate.
Yeah, Morgan Le Fay is something that a lot of mid laners have kind of added to their bag. She's one of those characters that's just she's almost never bad. doesn't have a lot of bad matchups, has so much safety in her kit. It's just self-peel. It's for a lot of these mid laners, kind of like Freak itself, that want to be aggressive with their positioning. Your kit can just kind of help bail you out of some of those positional mistakes, perhaps. On the other side is the Marty mid. Is something that once it hits level 5 is very scary. It's pre-level 5, not too great. Does struggle to clear the wave quite a bit in the early game. But as soon as that character hits level 5, it's just kill pressure in that mid lane.
Yeah, a lot of kill pressure. Even pre-5, like his poke is very strong as well. All of his damage, all of his abilities hit quite hard at level 1, and his 1v1 is very strong as well.
Yeah, his 1v1 is very good. The range advantage should just go to the Morgan Le Fay here. You have to get, relatively close to hit the Marcourse 2 consistently. Where Morgan Le Fay 3 does just outrange that ability. Don't expect to see a whole lot of aggression be available to Gary, at least in the 1v1. Obviously, if supports start coming in, maybe an Atlas pluck or something like that, definitely could cause some trouble for this Morgan Le Fay. Do you see the Vamp Shroud coming out as well? That item has 35 power on it.
Yeah,
It is
for some reason.
criminally underbuilt in the mid lane.
If it wasn't, I think if it wasn't for the fact that mages in solo in general, or even like support or guardians, aren't particularly amazing in solo right now, it'd see a lot more play. But considering especially like recently with the nerfs to all those items, it doesn't see as much play as I think it should. But that item has a lot of power.
If Break itself goes towards the lifesteal type of build, which I really love with the Vamp Shroud synergy, but they're not going to be able to build anti-heal super well on Vibe Tribe. And Chunka builds it, pretty well and has some built in, but if the Chunka's on top of you, it's probably not going to go super well anyways. That you have 2 hunters out of your carries rolls, so you're only, you're going to get a brawlers out of the Martichorus more than likely, with the Terra on the team as well. But not going to be a whole lot of other anti-heal applied easily. Atlas can go Divine, and in my opinion, actually probably should go Divine in this game.
But both sides have
lifesteal style build, so good.
both sides have a hard time, in my opinion, having applying the anti-heal like you were saying. Your colleagues and your blockers don't want to have to buy Toxic Blade. That kind of sucks overall.
Yeah, it's not great anymore. It is one of the better anti-heal items. After all the changes, it does have a higher percentage of anti-heal that it gets rid of, but the stats on it for doing the damage are not ideal. Whereas obviously the Morgan Le Fay applies that Divine Rune very well. Not really an applicator of brawlers available. The pick up from the Atlas is good, but there is a dash at level 2 out of Fatty Bacon, so gonna be okay over in that lane. Soul lane, nothing too exciting going on here. It's like Itchy is a level ahead. Is it take over now? Does have the Vamp Shroud, should win pressure in that lane. I know Kakulin, you think auto wins. Jungle just full clears at level 3, and Kakulin can't really do anything about that.
Now, like you were saying earlier, the poke from Freak itself is really starting to get to Gary. Sitting behind him.
Yeah, he gets outranged pretty hard. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the jungler is going. Yeah, he's over on right mid, so no threat to Freak itself for that positioning. It's a little bit of a 1v1 here. Like, Underclass could be in trouble to jump back in from the Baka. I'm not so sure he actually wants this fight. A lot of damage from the Morgan Le Fay. But not really too much danger. Some low health bars. Yeah, it's gonna scare us a little bit. But no first blood yet.
If you're Simon, you're in your unbox for one of the best farming gods in the game. You really got to get active in this jungle. You want to make sure you're staying on these camps, getting successful invades off. Because like I said, he's the best god in the game, arguably at farming. So you want to make sure that you're maximizing that potential and getting as much of a lead early over this collie as you can.
Yeah, would like to see them send some invades towards the purple buff, especially. Camping Kakulin's blue buff doesn't, accomplish a whole lot besides just putting the character behind an XP, but obviously a character that does not care about the blue buff, especially now the blue buff literally only gives MP5 and gives nothing else. Would like to see the Baka look at the purple though, something that is a more tangible threat, especially with this Atlas in lane, something you're picking usually to get aggressive. Eat minion just so hard to contest on those boss invades, but so far seems content to just farm out their own buffs. Maybe some game 3 season on the line nerves here from both teams. Neither team wanting to be the team that makes that first big mistake in the set. Shaga all forced out. Looks like a 3 is still on cooldown, so not going to be any follow-up damage, but Chaga already hitting the El Rosa pretty hard.
Yeah, these are trades that Rosa really doesn't want to take, at least until he gets his defense. I assume he's going to Genji's. Until he gets his Genji's online, it's not going to be a favorable matchup for you.
Even after the Genjis, the Chang'e just with a sustain built into between Vamp Shroud and the 3. Just don't think Kakalan wins those 1v1s pretty much ever. Do see Underclass coming over, trying to make something happen here. Looking like Atlas is the target, does get his dash off with a sliver of mana left. It's gonna die to the stick. It's gotta be sub 28. Yeah, looking like now he's sitting at 90 HP. Must have been, I think, probably closer to 50.
Wasn't even close.
So close to first blood there. Does get out okay. And now the Bakasur coming back does have ult, doesn't have the Golden Blade online yet. It's not going to be the most damage. Does force the beads out of Seaman, so a worthwhile trade for the Baka as long as he comes back over to try and capitalize off this. Ishtar just owned herself in this lane though. Yeah. Kali has the stun, the beads are good. A little bit of a short jump.
First blood.
That, finally, first blood from Seaman. Zuzu starting off this game in the grayscale once again. Not nearly as early as last time.
Yeah. Not 45 seconds into the game, no.
But is another unfortunate first blood going towards the side of Bodega? Gotta be concerned that, I understand that, it's your best god, you got farmed, it is what it is. But at some point, you gotta be concerned that, the mentals might not be feeling so good on the side of Zuzu. You get out of game 2, you think you're gonna reset, and then all of a sudden it's, I got first blooded. Well, I'm a level down again. That kind of continuing of the snowball for Seaman can start to get into your head.
They played really well game 1, and they kind of did not have a great game 2. So I mean, it's very possible that could be happening. But it also could have just been a situation where like they didn't realize they were. So I mean, it happens sometimes. You really focus on trying to make sure you're farming, trying to make sure that you're getting in there, doing what you gotta do. It happens to the best of us. I've been there before as well,
Oh, I'm 100%. I mean, if this ends up being, another not great game for Zuzu, that's no, shot at Zuzu. And I do think, they're not in any trouble at this point. You're down probably a couple hundred gold. It's 1 kill. You are still totally fine. Your team is down, pretty much just that first blood bounty. The ult from the Baka doesn't quite have the damage yet. Stern ult was good. Baka was not able to immune it. Used his ult right away. Going to be okay if you're Seaman, but I do like putting more pressure onto the Serenos. Does look like they were able to take away the purple buff at least. So taking some XP and some gold away. Now the gank coming out onto the Chang'e. 2 should still be up. He's going to bead and be okay. Misses the ult. Itchy. That was not in the same time zone, my guy. Come on.
Certainly not well time.
It wasn't ultimate. Atlas coming over just to make sure everything is okay. Really no threat here to the Kakalan. Atlas already used to team. Just being annoying. Speaking of being annoying, look at Murphy himself is on tower line, looking for those bastions. Baka doesn't have the ult, just trying to scare the Morgan Le Fay, who promptly goes back to tower line.
Gary's doing a good job of
Absolutely
farming
no
so
fear.
far. Just sending it. Gary's doing a good job of farming right now. I somehow got a pretty decent lead over Freakitso.
Yeah, does have a level lead. I think part of that though is just that Chaos Kingdom's level 6 has not been taking any farm out of this mid lane. If stacking that Pathetic, I don't think I want my Atlas to start falling behind in XP or in stacks. Really needs to get into this lane and just try and get himself some stacks and some farm. I understand trying to get your mid laner ahead. Trust me, as a mid laner, I appreciate it. But, yo, I don't appreciate it if my support's just gonna get one tapped because he's, super far behind, which he isn't so far, but I'd like to see him get a little more active in mid.
Atlas is next to Emoja, probably the best god of stacking prophetic. The one is such a long range, giant AoE. It's really easy to
Yeah, I think
apply.
he's probably better at it than Yum, honestly.
Yeah, either way, he just applies it so well, so it's kind of like surprising to see he only has 4 stacks so far. Admittedly, we're 9 minutes in the game, but still.
Yeah, you basically can't miss Atlas 1. So
Yeah, it's pretty hard to miss.
it's pretty hard. It's looking like they're thinking about a purple buff invade. Chose not to take it. Was still a 3v3. I guess maybe weren't sure where the Kali was. Didn't want to turn into a 4v3. Going back to solo lane, going, having a great time. Chonga just going for the solo. Maybe the jump is down. If she doesn't look like she has the cooldowns to go for it, just ulting for pressure. Yeah, hate it.
You just gotta do it to him sometimes, you know?
Just gotta do it sometimes. I mean, it's legitimately like his TP's down. Any poke you put into him is relevant, so I don't hate it from that card. It's kind of, a lot of times you'll see those mage solos just kind of spam their ultimates just for the pressure that it can get you. Does mean that, if Itchy's willing to use his ult just for poke, does mean that he's a little bit easier to dive, as that ult's gonna be on cooldown the majority of the time, but so far, Underclass Zero been pretty quiet, as has Simon. I mean, really everybody except for the duo lanes just making out.
It's been a really farm-focused type of game right now. Both these teams just making sure that they're not making any mistakes here in this game 3. It's high stakes right now.
If this game goes to late game, which it is sure looking like it's going to, whose comp are you favoring here?
Again, I want to say Vibe Tribe just because of Martigarus. Oh, okay, that should be a solo kill, and it is. Yeah. So after Zuzu getting sold, I'm now gonna change over to Bodega Hive.
I understand. It's just funny. Oh.
But no, it's seriously though. I think this Martigarus will be the difference maker in these late game team fights. Again, the amount of damage this god puts out, the amount of safety this god has, he brings a lot, and this is gonna be the difference maker. Last game it was the Emoja, game 1 it was the Terra. This game it's gonna be the Martigarus.
Alright, you heard it here. Surely, if this Martigarus is not the game changer late game, we could just blame this all on the casters. Surely. Fox is coming over, looking at purple buffs once again. Just kind of showing face, but not really committing to too much. Is going to get the oracles, which is an important pickup with your ADC. Not having the greatest of time in lane, getting those oracles so you know whether that rotation is coming. You can see, the potential gold variables going to be helpful here. A little surprised that Bodega didn't try and get them themselves, but gotta be feeling okay on the Baka, who is going crit. Curious to see if he goes full crit. I think he can. I still don't think that build is bad.
Baka is definitely building full crit on him right now. I don't know if let me rephrase. I don't think you hard commit to this. I don't think you get like 3 crit items, but you definitely go like a Demon Blade.
He's trying to solo Pyromancer right now. He's not winning the battle, but does have help from his mid laner. Doesn't look like Bodega have any idea that happened. Yeah,
he can solo if he had serrated, but he does not have serrated, so he cannot solo it.
Does not have serrated yet. Looks like Rosa has rotated in, trying to look at this Gold Fury. Itchy deciding to stay in farm. I don't hate it. He's already 2 levels up. Could just get rather big off this, but probably prefer to see him make this rotation after he takes the tower. Is starting the rotation now. If Hive are able to stall this out, should be good for them, but the Atlas is not going to get stalled out, is going to die. Morgan Le Fay and Terra ult were used there, I believe.
These are not trades that he should be taking. Yeah, he gets killed.
Gary!
Oh! Edgy.
Big Chonga ult does trade one, but Gary just realizing that after he ults, he's just kind of a sitting duck, does pay for it. Itchy showing face, might try and turn this around, but he's already used his blink ult. He's not scary anymore.
That was just a pretty interesting fight on the side of Gary. I don't think I would have gone for that one personally, just because you're like you said, your ult's down. The Cernos has crit. It's not a fight that you win, you know, not early at least, especially when you're double stacking on this ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't mind using the ult to ambient some damage and try and return some, but just walk away after that. Itchy though, just deleting Freak itself along with the Atlas ult, doing a lot of damage to jump into the backline. Chonga trying to search for one more Stern, looking like he's gonna chase out the Chonga. So the Ishtar is right there, set down Fatty Bacon. Zuzu getting onto the board, good recovery. Now Skakalin could be in trouble, but has the jump. But Goldfear should be on the menu here for Vibe Tribes. Underclass is just farming the right side of the jungle. I mean, it looks like there's pings coming out. Not sure if that's from his team or the enemy team, but Underclass, I mean, he's gonna get a lot of farm, but Goldfear just going the way of Vibe Tribe.
Yeah, we're seeing the 2k gold lead right now on the side of Vibe Tribe. Just about 2k gold lead on the side of Vibe Tribe. Like outside of these small mistakes, like you know, the mistaken deaths and whatnot, they've done a really good job of farming overall. And you can tell, but like even though, what's his name? Sorry, Gary was killed just now, he still is a level up on Freak itself. So.
Yeah, I think importantly there, they were able to kill Freak itself. I think that is going to be the key going into this late game versus Bodega is don't let this Morgan Le Fay recast in the late game. You've already experienced that. It didn't go well. Just take care of Freak itself and make someone else beat you. Seaman has definitely been playing very well this set, so I do think, you know, even if they do play the let's just focus the mid laner game, I do think Seaman is more than capable of carrying this game. But you've got to address one of them, and I think Freak itself might just be the answer.
Free rotation solo.
A lot of people to find a solo laner that's not there. I mean he's there, but I guess just wanting that T1 tower ult trade in mid does favor the Morgan Le Fay. It's the Articular's ult just more important. Feeds are used. It does still doesn't quite have the Aegis up. Caster Curse so bad. Does kill though. Good jukes. Bought enough time. He's gonna be okay. Now the blink in from Chonga is beautiful. Atlas ult should pick up the kill, and it does onto the Cernos. Now,
and that's a massive shutdown.
Pyromancer is about to spawn. Could potentially be a look. Could potentially be a look at the Pyro. Does spawn in, but they're looking at his mid T1 and instead Chonga tanking it despite being full damage. Double of that. Is gonna be okay. Gonna heal up the rest of the squad, and then Pyromancer should be on the table here. So Bodega might try and contest this. Terra is going to know dread from the Ishtar and Baka is too much, and it is gone.
Yeah, this gold lead for Vibe Tribe is kind of getting out of control right now. They're up just about 5k. And
It's really
yeah,
just all been on objectives, and
it really has, yeah.
despite, you know, the early troubles in the duo lane, Zuzu is now up a level over Seaman, and yeah, half a level perhaps. So the Ishtar is totally fine here now.
Vibe Tribe's done a great job getting a single pick and then rotating over to an objective and grabbing it this game. They've done an excellent job of it so far. And if they keep doing this, then there should be a Fire Giant on the horizon, you know, coming up soon. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Fire Giant definitely could be on the table here. Do have that double EAC plus a Bakasura, along with crit on the Baka and crit on your ADC. So Fire Giant will melt pretty quickly if and when they decide to do it. Itchy trying to get that blue buff, looks like just mistimed his 3 there. Rosa gonna be able to confirm it. Ain't okay. But trying to make some pressure on the map. Do also have 2 runic bombs on the side of Hive Tribe to help that Fire Giant go down quickly if they choose to do so.
No, but we see all the T1s down on the side of Bodega, so that just shows the amount of pressure that these teams will be able to put out.
Bakasura ult coming out. He's looking like it's going to find a whole lot, but he does get some relics out on the side. Now the chase onto the Baka is good.
So
Running
fast.
back to his Atlas, gets a shell. It's just so fast with the movement speed from each minion. Good shell out of Chaos Kuzenbo as well. Now he himself is in trouble. Chanka, perhaps next on the menu, is going to be okay. A little bit scary though, as this tier 1 tower is starting to get looked at. Marticarus rejoined in the fight. Now it looks like Hive Tribe actually trying to get aggressive instead, looking for a pull with this Atlas. He's gonna try and pull the Terra. Does not remember that he cannot pull the Terra. Not going to find anything. Gold Fury has respawned though. Perhaps where we see teams start to look is this Gold Fury pit.
And not late enough for 20 minutes in this game, and now, not due to being low in HP, but due to low mana, because Emma has to back.
Yeah, no mana sustain in the build right now. Does force him back to base. Looks like Bodega might be aware that he had to back to base. Good damage over the wall onto the Chunga. Is going to keep healing, but Gold Fury's gonna get looked at. Itchy going to back here as well. Actually cancels it. Realizes that his blink ult is rather important for their team fight. Marty just hanging out in the grass, seeing what's going on. Looks like Bodega trying to bait Hive Tribe into a team fight here. Zuzu does take quite a poke over on the left. Is about half health to start this fight now.
Despite being down 5k gold, Bodega's taking really aggressive off screen here. They really don't want to give this gold up and extend the gold lead that Hive Tribe already has.
Yeah, don't want to let this get even more out of control than it already is. Finally controlled, the pit goes back to Hive Tribe. Underclass with a big engage on the back, kills Zuzu. Is pretty low here, doesn't get the kill onto Simon, but Rosa does. Now the Marticarus on, running for his life. Good damage out, but that's a 3 for nothing. Favoring Bodega, a lot of low health bars. Terra's still healthy, so.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. That's what I was talking about earlier with this Bakasura pick into the Kali. Simon did a lot of good damage, but Kali just pressed the destruction ultimate and just walks away. So I mean, it's a really hard matchup for Bakasura to try and dive into and win. Not taking the other members of the team into account as well.
Yeah, I think the Changa ult was forced out defensively there as well, which is just not the ideal situation. I do believe it got the beads off of Underclass, but who cares when he's killing your entire team? Do you think that the Changa and the Baka have to find a way into the back line of Bodega? I think that trying to kill the Kali quickly just doesn't work, because it's a Kali. She presses 4 and you literally cannot kill that character quickly. So instead, trying to take out the backline of Bodega while Kali's diving your own backline, I think it could be a bit of an easier way to approach these fights.
Yeah, I agree. Look at this lead, the gold lead.
Oh, Changa stole it.
Stole it, Changa. Oh.
Good ult. Marty is forced to ult defensively again, and now the Kali into the backline again. Good stun. Destruction does not come out before the stun from Ishtar ult. Those beads being down did come back to haunt Underclass. Wasn't able to get his ultimate off in time, but Simon fell down as well. And now KS Kuzenbo just getting picked as well, just too far up. Now Bodega might try and pull this Fire Giant. ADC level 19. Did lose your Kali, not feeling confident enough to actually pull this Fire Giant yet.
I see this gold lead that was once 5k in favor of Vibe Tribe is now shrunk down to just about 2,000.
Yeah, this league has absolutely shrunk. Really not too much at this point in the game. 2,000, not gonna matter a whole lot. XP definitely see that fall off a cliff as well. Now, pretty much an even game. Still slightly in the favor of Vibe Tribe, but I think momentum is favoring Bodega here.
I think the team fighting that's coming out from Bodega is just significantly better. They have a traditional tank out of solo, so they have somebody that can actually engage and stay in a fight for longer than 4 seconds. Not that Itchy's doing bad or anything, but you're going a full damage solo laner, so you don't have the sustain or the HP to stay in a fight and harass the backliner for very long.
Yeah, I think it's also the Atlas pick is intriguing particularly well here. As the fight comes out in mid, the jump from the Kali is really good. The Atlas just hasn't been able to find anybody he can pick up. I mean, the backline from Bodega, the knockup from Lord of the Fate is good. Just kidding, Atlas is still in trouble. Does get a pickup as Igerson does die. The Cullen dies as well. Probably going to be favoring a Vibe Tribe there. Is trading your support for solo. Probably going to feel pretty good on the side of Vibe Tribe, but
Especially when that solo laner is 4-0.
yeah, I just don't know how the Atlas functions in these late games. You're never gonna get on top of Punk and Fae. The knockup just keeps you from getting close. Cern roots you when you try and dash. You can't pick up Kali and her ultimate to peel. You can't pick up Terra with her passive. Like, the Atlas just doesn't have. Like, I don't know what the Atlas does in these team fights.
You just gotta hope that the ultimate is enough. It's a lot of prot shred. It's a very strong ultimate, but yeah, like you're saying, the counter matchups, which is ironic because he picked it like last round, but still, the counter matchup in the Terra and the Kali just make it so hard for this this Atlas to get really anything productive done.
Yeah, I guess you said really gotta rely on that ultimate being enough. And it is a very good ultimate, don't get me wrong, but I think Terra's ult is just better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the rest of her kids also just going to do things in this matchup. So, unlook, might be a little bit of a rough look for Vibe Tribe in that sense. The jump over the wall is good out of underclass forces, the ult out of Marty. I don't think Gary has been able to allow to ult offensively at all this game. And Atlas is just getting absolutely piled onto. They use so many ults there though. Itchy cleans up 2 in the back. A massive chunk of ult salvages the fight for Vibe Tribe. Put the team on your back, Mr. Itchy Eggplant. A massive blink ult into the back line there.
Some heroics being turned on for Itchy at the moment.
Yeah, Itchy does not want to lose to freak itself again after the OSL finals over there where these two dueled it out as well. Went to 5 there with Freak itself getting the advantage there. Itchy does not want to lose to that again, wants to get himself one step closer to that playoff victory. Now, Gold Cherry goes down for Vibe Tribe, picking up some of their gold lead again, have built it back up to about 4,000 gold. It looks like Fire Giant is on the menu for both teams here. Itchy has no fear, full damage, just waltzing through their backline saying, well, what are you gonna do, kill me?
The thing is, Itchy does have to be careful though. Again, like you said, he's full
Oh,
damage.
for sure.
This is like not the kind of game where you can just like say, you make a mistake and you lose off it. We'll just go next game. This is like this is your playoff right here. This is like whether you go to the next round or you're eliminated. So they have to be like paying attention to where both teams have to be paying attention to where they're at and where they're positioning and how they're taking fights.
Absolutely. Team fights, the ult comes out from Changda again. The Kali ult is gonna come through. Does trade out, but that's probably going to favor Bodega this side, but with Freak itself falling as well, no longer favoring Bodega, is just a 2-for-1 with the Soul and ults used by nearly everybody on the side of Vibe Tribe. Still 3 ults available on the side of Bodega, but speaking of which, the Kakolan ult, massive there. Atlas ult in the back trying to help out with this Kakolan. The dash is off the mark from Zuzu. Jump in from the Baka, really good route out of Kakolan. is going to fall down. Probably did enough damage that this Fire Giant isn't realistically a threat of going down, I don't think.
I think
It's
if you're revived, you definitely could have pulled it there. You were kind of low, but you forced the certain those back. Terra doesn't have the greatest steal potential unless she gets a really good 2 off. So I mean, again, they're playing it safe. I don't hate the call. I like it, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Would have had to have Gary probably tank that, which is a little bit scary. It does have the Soul Eater along with Marty passives. It does have actually a fair amount of lifesteal built in. So perhaps could have done it, but I think teams playing it safe, realizing that their season is on the line, and don't want to throw an FG fight when you've gotten this far and do still have a lead. Kali does have that bubble online. Looks like they sold their Golden Blade in order to afford it to lead. You would have, think Golden Blade in that game still has some value. This Fire Giant is melting, and it looks like the call's still all in it, and they
Vibe gets it, and they get underclass.
Vibe gets it, and they delete underclass and Fatty Bacon. The chase is on now. Good knock up and knock back from Freak itself should stop the aggression from Vibe Tribe, but Atlas is undeterred. Isn't going to find the pickup onto the CERN. However, 2 dead, and Fire Giant is on the side of Vibe Tribe. They are pushing forward, looking at this mid tower. Now the question is,
if you remember from game 1, their siege was not particularly great. So there is no Agni this time. So.
There is no Agni. The Mark of the has good damage on the defense, but it is not the same as that Agni damage, though. The initial push, at least, has been repelled on the side of Bodega as their support and jungler respawn. Do lose a mid T2 in the fire, but they at least don't lose the mid bird. Gonna be backs coming out here from Vibe Tribe, where I imagine they are going to take a look at this left side bird.
Now we're looking at these builds. Everybody's just about finished. Underclass just sold his golden blade. I think he's gonna be building Executioner, so he'll have a lot more damage, a lot more strength. But yeah, I mean, Vibe Tribe just, as of right now, with this 9K-ish gold lead, they're doing a good job of pushing what they need to. And right now, I assume they're just gonna focus on the T2s and just resetting and get ready for the next Fire Giant. So they're playing this a lot safer than they did in game 1.
Realistically, probably just getting your T2s, getting your Pyromancer, unless Bodega make a mistake on the defenses here and get themselves killed. But probably just looking at T2s. Mark of the Fate does okay on the defenses. That fear can be pretty impactful if you're able to find the backline with it. Does have that sacrificial shroud online. Bodega stepping up. They might want to spike. Colin All does hit 3 people again, but he is melting. The Kali's into the back versus the Baka. They both trade ults. That's 2 dead on the side of Vibe Tribe. Atlas stepping back up, gets a 4-person Atlas pull. But that's 2 people dead on the side of Vibe Tribe for just a T2.
Yeah, they don't really get a whole lot out of it. I mean, they get beads and they get off the Cernanos, but outside of that, there's nothing else of value that you get. Outside, you get the tower, but you lose Fire Drive for 2 of your members. No, they'll be up before the next Fire Giant's up, but
yeah, definitely not the ideal siege from Vibe Tribe. Do get 2 T2s off the table during that power play, so not the worst. Realistically, probably weren't getting a Phoenix, kind of no matter how that went. Does give some gold and some momentum back to Bodega, knowing that they can still win fights. They are down 8,000 gold, but able to win that fight into FG. Imagine Bodega's going to feel pretty okay about stepping up for this Fire Giant.
I see both sides respawning, resetting, getting ready for this fire to drop. This will be EFG this time. So this is gonna be a highly contested objective coming up.
Yeah, more than likely, whoever gets this Fire Giant probably is just going to win the game. So expect everybody to be on time and ready to brawl. Notably here, neither ADC has their relics for 70 seconds. They're on about the same cooldown as each other. So targets for both teams. I think that has to favor Vibe Tribe just a little bit. Itchy should just be able to blow up Seaman for free, and there's not a whole lot he can do about it without those relics up. Gotta keep our eyes on the positioning from this Chang'e and the Bakasura.
Yeah, I don't think they had eyes on that Boxer was in the left arm. It seems like they didn't. So
It looks like Itchy actually doesn't have his beads up either. I didn't catch that, so that might dissuade them from sending this, even though I assume they know that certain relics are down. Might just be waiting for everybody to have their relics, including their Chang'e. This is pulled. Looks like this is just a bait here. Oh, the Chang'e ult misses. That is unfortunate for Itchy. Underclass is in. The Chang'e running for their life, falls down to Morgan Le Fay. Demon kills Zuzu. Baka running. Atlas also on the retreat now. Good beads out of Gary, but does he have enough movement speed to get out of this? Just juke out of the Morgan Le Fay one, trying to trade out here. Isn't able to find the auto attacks quite, and has a 3 for nothing on the side of Bodega. Good engage from Underclass, realizing that Chang'e ult unfortunately was off the mark.
I don't know if he was trying to flank, he just happened to press both at the same time. But yeah, that was just unfortunate whiff on the side of Itchy. So I mean,
yeah, I don't know if he got put in combat or yeah. It's a little bit unfortunate. Now going on to the defense here. Vibe Tribe's defense is okay. I mean, Chang'e is going to have to work a lot harder to find those engages now that they're on the back foot. Marticarus, has very good wave clear. His poke around the Phoenix is not great. You do have Ishtar 3 or Ishtar 1, excuse me, which is probably their most relevant poke around the Phoenix, but not going to be as much as that traditional mage defense on these Phoenixes.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot like playing like AMC or Chiron. You have good clear, but you don't have good poke, essentially.
Yeah. Marticarus 1, great ability. Realistically is not hitting anybody from range. It's a very slow moving ability.
It's very easy to see coming.
Yeah, does clear the wave super well. Underclass doing a good job of centering out that, trying to keep the enemy guessing on where he is rotating to. Atlas could be in some trouble here. Doesn't take too much damage. Gotta be careful with positioning so aggressively here into an EFG. He very clearly does not want to defend this, and Chaos Kizumbo apparently wants to.
I don't hate this call. They have EFG. This is not a particularly great fight for you, even under your own tower.
Yeah, absolutely. It does look like a soft T2 defense coming up. Just gotta be careful here. The Collies into the back, and into the Marty's relics are. We're down. The ult is. Oh wow. And Rosa is deleted. Underclass trying to get one more. Does kill Simon. Freak itself kills Zop. Zuzu as well. Marty fighting for his life is going to get out. Atlas cannot stay the same though. Could be game. It is a mage and a hunter left on the side of the Chang'e. Blink ult does some. The health bars are low, but Titan's starting to fall down to about half HP. Chang'e trying to get in there, does kill Fatty Bacon. Underclass dies as well, and the game will go on. Unless, okay, Gary almost trolled me there. Gary's gonna be okay.
This game is so close right now. Both these teams just throwing haymakers at each other.
Yeah, a little bit. Didn't seem like Bodega was super sure on how to balance the Titan aggro there. Itchy falls down, but shouldn't matter too much. Freak itself had maybe 2 HP. Maybe. That's being generous. I think more or less, gotta be a 1 HPer for sure.
They do clean him up though, and they put him on the back foot. I don't know if he'll be up in time for this Fire Giant. Either way, the most important Phoenix is down. Nobody has teleport, so it's gonna be really hard for Vibe Tribes to defend this and the Fire Giant, especially when your Titan's basically dead at this point.
Yeah, it can't really afford to let any of those waves in. They pushed out some of them. That wave is not pushed very far. That wave might not make it to the Titan, but definitely the wave behind it will. I guess it is banking on Itchy going to be able to defend that. Now, Zuzu does go back, realizing he has to push this out. Drop is not going to be in a great spot to defend this, especially now that Gary has his ult forced out. Probably just have to give up this EFG.
The only
Maybe try an Atlas ult it.
Yeah, that's the only like real potential you have. But not if he gets poked out like this, like they're looking for.
And all at the same time, Fire Giant is being pulled. Isn't burning super fast, but Vibe Tribe is nowhere close. Chaos Gizmo might try and snipe this. He knows it. He knows it's going. Yeah, just gonna go down. Probably going to die. Got his dash caught. Likely going to be the end of the road for Chaos Gizmo. He's buying time and is running away from his base, which is the correct thing to do there. Try and buy a couple more seconds, but now it is a 5v4 with EFG and your only tank is dead.
Yeah, this is not the ideal scenario for Vibe Tribe. Their composition is really now, especially without the Atlas, is not particularly amazing on the defense.
Yeah, it could be a bit of a struggle here. Midford is just being melted. Itchy did blink into the backline there. Looks like he got quite a few relics. Relics off both carries. Garrett does pick up Rosa. There's no relics on the backline, but also no ultimates available for Vibe Tribe. Trying to deal with those minion waves on the left side as well. Vaka could just fall down to the Kali. Does just fall down to the Kali. The ultimate. Itchy just gets deleted. It is now up. It's now up just the backline of Vibe Tribe, but there's some low health bars on the side of Bodega. Underclass.
But they gotta respect the backline damage is falling back.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're confident to do some no relics on either carry, where relics were available for Vibe Tribe. Gonna play it safe, gonna reset one more time. Titan's gonna take some more damage. Unfortunate.
If you're Bodega, you just group up and run it down, right? Like, the Titan's less than half HP.
Probably just waiting, saying regroup, get Kali ult back up, and then just have Kali tank the Titan and end it.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot you can do about that. Game still going here. There is still a chance that Vibe Tribe can turn this around. It's only a 3k gold lead, so that's, I mean, items are the same. For all intents and purposes, it is just the 3 birds in the EFG.
We see some gripping on the left side. I think they might try and go drop this left side Phoenix again. That shouldn't be terribly hard.
No, should not be too hard. Realistically, Vibe Tribe probably, as soon as that blink is back up from Itchy, just need to send it. There's no carries on the backline. Baka's gotta be careful though. He just deleted. Itchy does a good job of blowing up Seaman, but he's going to die to this Kali as well. Kali now picking 2 important kills late game. Itchy did a good job there of realizing there's no relics on the CERN. Now the Kali's back in for one more. The backflip is good. The jump in from Underclass. Looks like Gary wasn't quite aware of what was going on, but does kill Underclass.
These are only fire waves. They had to kill these minions or they will lose the game.
Only fire waves are in. Damage onto the Titan is
and that's game.
So close, and that is the end of the game. As Bodega Hive upset the number 2 seed Vibe Tribe and move on to the semifinals.
That is really unfortunate for Vibe Tribe. Yeah. There was just, I think it was their composition, honestly. That's what really lost them. Itchy made some really good plays, got some really clutch kills, but he didn't have the HP or the prots to stay alive very long. You're just looking to delete basically one person, and it just wasn't enough at the end of it.
Yeah, it was doing its job of deleting that one person, but afterwards, the Atlas struggled quite a bit that set as that game as the Barcosaurus felt like he was struggling to find the flanks that he wanted to. Take a quick look at the damage numbers. Just curious how everything ended up that set. Yeah, it looks like, the Baka had a little bit of a rough time
60K
finding in,
damage.
and then Freak itself, again, 60,000 damage, just able to free cast for so much of that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great set to spectate and watch and cast. But yeah, I think this game right here, I think honestly, Vitar kind of just got outdrafted, and that's what it came down to at the end of it.
Definitely feel like a bit of a draft biff on the side of Bodega. I'll look forward to seeing how well they can keep this momentum going heading into semifinals. Looking at our schedule for the rest of the day, we should be back shortly with some portion of Royal Jesters versus Hanford Hairnet's Lancelot division. We'll jump in there at some point, might be jumping into game 2 of that set, but we'll let everybody know shortly. And then at 7 o'clock, we have the Royal Jesters and Cyberpunk Otters Arthur division. So we hope you guys have enjoyed this cast, and we will see you all shortly. Thanks for watching.